We both look hungover.
Well, I'm planning on being hungover tomorrow.
I'm planning on being hungover for the next 20 years. Anyway.
Right, so Whiskey Hour, episode 4. For anyone who hasn't seen the other 3.
This is the only important one.
Yeah, this is the most unique one because we're in a unique setting.
We're in forteys tattoo parlour.
Yes.
In Birmingham, and anyone who'd like to come along, please do. We have the most amazing tattoo artist and body piercer in the West Midlands available for all your needs.
And podcaster / boxing coach. So, obviously today I almost ruined the whole title of the show because I forgot the whiskey. So I was halfway here and I was like, I'm sure I'm forgetting something. And then I was just like, no, all my camera equipment, all the wires, everything's all good. And then I thought, shit, forgot the whiskey. But luckily, I was able to save the day by making a small detour and bringing some whiskey.
It is really good.
Yeah.
And we're sponsored by these people. We should be.
No. Sponsor me.
It's really good. Obviously, mine's in a red cup because, you know, I'm from the 80s.
So, obviously, we're on Sextant again, which is my favourite whiskey.
Really good.
And for anyone who is watching that doesn't know, the beautiful, sexy guest today,
I'm
introduce
Samantha.
yourself.
I'm Samantha. I'm a body piercer here at Forteys. I'm also all over social media doing alternative modelling. I've recently been in a rock video for the incredible band White Tiger, who are Midlands based and just phenomenal. So if you want to look up a really cool band and see my nipples, look at the most recent video, Vanilla Circus, out now.
Well, that sounds... I mean, you definitely sold it there with the same nipples. So today, obviously, the main subject is going to be movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we were just talking before we went live about Draculas.
Yeah.
And there's been such a wide spectrum of Draculas over the years.
Yeah. And just the whole vampire genre. I mean, the different forms of vampire that you get, because I'm covered in vampire tattoos and bats and weird malarkey like that. And I've got a little Nosferatu on my leg and a vampire priestess on my thigh. I just like the fact that in all time, all throughout history, there's always been stories about vampires. So clearly it's something that human beings have been interested in since they climbed out the sludge pits.
Yeah, climbed out of the caves. So in terms of Dracula films having CGI versus practical effects, which do you prefer?
Wow. So like we're going back there to like the Hammer House of Horror, where they put a stake through someone's chest and something looking like tomato ketchup would come out of them. So I love it. I love a cheesy old school. But the CGI brand new one that I've just recently watched was Abigail.
Oh, okay.
And she's a little girl ballerina vampire. And that was all obviously, high-tech stuff. But an incredible story and such a brilliant way of spinning it. Didn't like her dad, who they cast as a dad as the vampire at the end. He's been cast as a vampire in something else as well. And I thought he sucked. But the story was great because she's a little girl and she's not actually a little girl. She's a little vampire. And I just really liked the teeth on her, and it was more of a Pennywise kind of fang. And her killing ability was phenomenal. And the way they turn other vampires was brilliant. So, yeah, I really liked it.
Well, I've got one that's it tends to be quite controversial when I bring it up because it's my favourite vampire film, but it's also my second favourite werewolf film. because they are both in it.
Yeah.
And it's not Underworld.
I was
Anyone
going
who
to say
thinks
it's
it is,
Underworld.
It's not Underworld. I think it's better than Underworld. So it's the Hugh Jackman Van Helsing.
Really?
And I think...
Do you think Dracula is awful in that?
I think he's good in that.
Oh, he's half
so,
down ponytail pisses me off, man.
Yeah, but he's got
Dracula
like that
would never do that.
over the top, sort of almost cartoony.
He's really
accent.
flamboyant and camp, isn't he? Yeah, and the accent's just
But I think what I like about it is he's quite like a well-kept, sort of handsome-looking dude.
Yeah.
And then when he transforms, he's like a demonic, nightmarish giant bat.
Yeah, yeah.
And the CG in that is actually, for the time, I think really good.
It was really good,
really
particularly
good.
when the werewolves transform and they're ripping their skin off. That was good.
Yeah, and I think the whole blend, the way they did it, they made the werewolves and the vampires sort of fit in the same universe.
Yeah. And I like the little exploding baby vampires.
Yeah, they were.
That was really cool.
And the fact that he has 3 super hot wives just makes him look like a total top
This
G.
Halloween, we're in discussions with Danny, my ex-wife, and my current wife. We're all talking about going out and dressing as the 3 Brides of Dracula from Van Helsing.
Yeah.
But I really want to do sexy Chucky and wear like the red hair and everything. But we're negotiating because we're all going out together this year.
I think Dracula's Brides.
I think Dracula's Brides would be better.
Work.
Yeah, I'm the dark one, obviously. Yeah,
that would definitely work. What about, have you seen, and you must have done if you want to call yourself a real horror fan?
Yeah.
Dog Soldiers.
Yeah, obviously I went to the cinema and watched it. Over here we have a cinema. We did, it's been taken over now. It's Optiplex or something. But every Halloween, the manager Ray, who's an incredible guy, hi Ray, he would put on all of the old Halloween movies and rerun them. So you'd have the original Halloween, amazing, and then you'd have Dog Soldiers. So we went and saw that. And like 3 minutes before the end of the film, they turned the lights on, so you couldn't see the film. So I went outside and went to this other manager who was there and went, excuse me, we couldn't watch the end of the film because you put the lights on and we couldn't see it. And he went, what do you want? Do you want me to put it back on for you? I went, no, I'd quite like to see the whole of the film that I paid to see.
Yeah.
And I wanted to flay him and and murder him viciously. But Dog Soldiers is one of my favourite movies, but not obviously a vampire movie.
Yeah. Well,
Sean Pertwee. Chef's kiss of a man.
He's brilliant.
Oh, he's so hot. Yeah,
well, that's actually my favourite werewolf film.
Really?
And it's probably my favourite realistic with werewolves in it.
I see what you mean.
Military film, because they're the British Army in it.
Yeah.
And
it's a really British film as well, the way it's shot.
Yeah, like the opening scenes where they're all out camping together in the woods and the banter they have between each other is so
realistic.
Spot on. Yeah. Like even down to one guy losing his watch and then taking the piss out of him. And all he cares about is getting home and watching the footy.
Yeah. It's very real.
On. It's very British.
Yeah, I did like that film. It is one of my favourite movies, to be fair. But have you seen, right, so how cool are you? Do you like David Bowie?
Of course I do.
Obviously, name the David Bowie horror movie. Name the vampire David Bowie movie.
The vampire David Bowie movie.
David Bowie playing a vampire. How can you not love it?
Was he a vampire in Labyrinth?
No, in Labyrinth, he's the king of the elves, isn't he?
Oh, okay.
King of the underworld. He plays a very sexy vampire at the beginning of the movie, and it's called The Hunger. And he wears a little dagger on his neck. So instead of biting people, they use the dagger and drink their blood.
Yeah.
But you only live as long as the head vampire is in love with you. When she gets bored of you, she puts you in the loft and leaves you to rot.
Oh, that sounds like some women I've met.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're only important when I love you, and then I'm just going to leave you to rot.
Yeah, it's why when people come to my house, like, what's that fucking noise upstairs? But Bowie's very, very sexy in it at the beginning. So, Great vampire movie again. Susan Sarandon is in it. You know, from Rocky Horror.
Yeah.
Redhead, hot lesbian in it. I couldn't sell it more.
Yeah.
Great vampire movie. So I recommend thoroughly.
So in terms of recent films, other than what you've mentioned already, is there any that you think are sort of bringing horrors back? And by recent, I mean like last sort of 10, 15 years.
10, 15 years. I think that all the screams coming back again, everyone moans and says that they're not happy about it, but Sam's kill of her boyfriend, you know, Huey from The Boys.
Yeah.
When she's over him and she's stabbing him, she's my favourite murderer in all of the Scream franchises. I just think she has this look about her, and she's also in that new vampire movie, Abigail. Sam killing her boyfriend in that was perfection. And I can watch that scene again and again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that Scream have done really well to reinvent themselves and not be shit and just everyone hate it because everyone's changed. The whole cast have changed. It's not fair. The old people aren't in it. Neve wasn't in it. But horror for me at the moment, it's got a massive comeback. We've got Nosferatu's coming out soon.
Yeah, that actually looks really good.
Amazing. We've got Salem's Lot coming out soon.
Well, there's another one. What's your opinion on the new Crow?
I fucking love it. I don't get what people's problem. Look, this is not to be down on the younger generation because I am a 104-year-old vampire, but they just hate on everything and go, "Oh, it's not the same. It shouldn't be the same." Like we've just spoken about the fact that vampire movies are not the same. Yes, you need it to be like the comic, and I get that. The Boys isn't like the comic. If you read the Boys comic, it's nothing like the comic in parts. So, but everyone is on board with that. But the fact that Eric Draven has a mullet, your generation rock a mean mullet now. Men cannot wear mullets enough, as far as I'm concerned. You are gorgeous, and crop tops. Bring that back. But Eric's got like a modern haircut in it. The makeup's a little bit more modern. The tattoos are modern. And when kids come in here now and they have your new tattoos and you have these little patchwork things, I didn't get them before, and I used to look at like Harry Styles and go, "Oh God, his tattoos are shit." But now these kids are coming in and having all this new artwork. I embrace it. So no, I think that the new Crow is going to be great. I think that you should just watch it and think, in my day, guys had that long hair, it was sexy, and they looked that way and they're hot, and guys are still hot who look like that. But your generation, you have a mullet and you have your patchwork tattoos and you're hot. So just watch it and don't slam it yet, because I'm excited and I want to see it.
Well, I was initially, when I saw the pictures of Skarsgård as the Crow, I was like, you know what it made me think of?
What?
Jared Leto's Joker.
Really?
Because he had short hair, he had the face tattoos, and I was just like, it just reminds me of that. It was reminiscent.
See, not for me. I just think he looks like a really cool goth guy.
But after watching the trailer in the cinema last night and the night before, because I've been to the cinema 3 times this week, all to see the same film, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. Deadpool Wolverine.
Oh, did you love it?
Yeah.
Have you learned the dance yet?
I don't think I can move my hips that fluidly.
You can. You can.
I move a bit more like RoboCop.
That's a good thing.
But I did see the trailer, and on the big screen with the music.
Amazing.
It did get me hyped. I was like, there's a scene, I don't know if you've seen the same trailer that I'm thinking of, but there's a scene where he's walking up the stairs as the Crow.
Yeah.
And they're shooting him and he drops down into a heap on the floor.
Yeah.
And then when they get close, he jumps up and fucks the guy up.
And it's great.
That shit really gets me hyped. And I'm not looking at it as like a remake. It's more to me like a sequel, like 20, 30 years later.
It's a reimagining.
Yeah,
like the second one.
Thing again.
Have you seen the second Crow?
No.
Completely different actor, obviously, because sadly Brandon had passed making the last one. So they cast a French guy in Brandon's role. There was not as much controversy as there is now for some reason. The little girl who Eric gets a mom to come off heroin, which I think is amazing. One of my favourite lines in the world is, "Mother is the name of God." No, Mother is the name of God on the lips of all children, or it's God is the name of mother on the lips of all children. Just such a great line, and tells her to go home and look after her daughter. And then you see like the heroin come out of her arm, which is just sick. Such a great thing. She's a grown girl in the second one, and she's got my tattoo because I went and got my full wing tattoo done on my back after I watched that movie because I thought it was the coolest tattoo ever, and started this transformation. But the second film is awesome and it's so good. You should watch it. Really, really good. But it's not.
I think it was one of them where I was like, because it's not Brandon Lee, I don't want to see it.
But why? Because like that's ridiculous. You're going to go and see the Joker, and Heath is dead.
Yeah, so but I mean, there was.
Don't abandon a film because you haven't got the original cast. Because
I think it's because there was one Crow at the time, and like there's been multiple Jokers.
There was the second one, and no one remembers it. But it was a really, really good film. The story was great. It was the reimagination was just awesome. This is my boss, by the way. Say hi, Danny. Hi. That's the world's best tattoo, so you should all come and see. Yeah. It was really good, so I'm glad that you liked it.
Yeah.
Promo.
Well, that's the thing. I originally, when I saw the pictures of it and I heard about it, I was like, oh, God. But seeing the trailer, that's one thing that they do really well now is trailers.
Yeah.
Because back in the 80s, trailers were just like, one man lost in the wilderness. And it was so badly cut together.
Yeah. It was
just deep voice narrator man telling you basically what the film was.
I
want now
everyone to stop watching this, pause it a minute, and then go and look at the trailer for The Legend of Billie Jean. It's the worst trailer in the world, and I love it. It fills me with joy. But I like, as we've said, B movies. I like the underdog of films. I don't know how many of your people who watch this would know who Elvira is. You know who Elvira is?
Oh, the hot goth chick.
The hot goth chick.
With the big. Yeah, with those.
Her. Everyone wanted to be Pamela Anderson when I was a little girl. I wanted to be Elvira.
Yeah, she's way hot.
Pamela
Anderson can go fuck herself.
Well, she's hot. She's still very, very hot.
I mean, yeah.
But I wanted to be Elvira.
Put them two in a room together.
That'd be great.
I'm not even going to look at it.
It would work for me. But Elvira championed all the old B movies, and she would do a show playing them. She was like a horror. I would love this job. I would love that job. If anyone would like to cast me in that role of just showing really old, terrible horror movies, and I'll talk about it and tell dirty jokes, please feel free. But Elvira got me into liking the B movies, and I think that's something we should embrace as well. The really shitty films, like you said with the bad promos.
Yeah, well, I mean, some of the old films it was a bit of a double-edged sword because you would get really bad trailers.
And then the excellent
and some of the films were brilliant. And like one example is one of my favourite horror movies of all time. I love John Carpenter. And The Thing is my favourite one.
Really? I never got The Thing.
Oh, never got it. So, like, if you introduce it to someone who doesn't know what it's about, they'll just think it's a film about being stuck in the Arctic.
With some space creature.
And it's like a psychological thriller. And then when they dig up the creature and things start getting really weird, I love watching people's reactions, seeing them freak out, and the first time they see the dog, like
when the dog's head goes, and it didn't. I don't know what films like. Have you seen The Fog?
Yeah, I've got The Fog on 4K special edition.
My guy bought The Fog on holiday. He's my guy because I licked him, so he's mine. And he bought it on holiday, and it was like one of the only films that we'd bought with us because we were stupid. My ex partner had a meltdown because he was like, "I'm not watching this shit." Going mad about The Fog. So I like that movie now.
Yeah, The Fog's good.
Yeah, but it's the same as The Thing, I think. Caliber Wars.
Yeah, I think The Thing had slightly better effects.
Yeah.
Because The Fog, it's kind of tricky to do some of the scenes with all practical. So there's a little bit of old school CG and stuff in there, but.
How do you feel about the new Halloween movies that are now no more?
They're coming for us.
So the last one was allegedly the last one.
I think I like the idea that they've brought back Jamie Lee Curtis and they're doing this whole, like, she's been training for 20, 30 years to get revenge if he comes back. I like that because it gives me a little bit of, like, Sarah Connor and Terminator 2 vibes.
Yeah.
But there's just there's something about it, and you're probably going to get mad at me for saying this, but the Rob Zombie Halloween film, I really liked.
I love Rob Zombie.
Because I liked the way
it was like the old film, how scared you were.
Yeah.
You know, at the beginning when he's breaking in, then she wakes up and you're like, but I don't think he recaptured that fear for the rest of the film, sadly.
And I liked that they chose Tyler Mane, who's a massive dude, by the way, he's like 6'7", played Sabretooth in the X-Men films. I liked that they used a big imposing dude rather than sort of a normal sized dude.
Yeah, which they've done in other films.
Makes him more intimidating because they also did that with Jason in Freddy vs. Jason. They picked a big actor who's like 6'8".
Yeah.
And that makes him more intimidating because he's towering over everyone. And the fact that he doesn't speak, Michael Myers and Jason, I think adds to the sort of intimidation factor as well.
You want them to talk.
Yeah. Because it makes them less human.
Yeah.
So it makes them a bit more creepy. And I like that. And I like the new mask. I like the design of the Rob Zombie mask where it's old and it's stained and cracked.
Yeah. I love all Rob Zombie movies. I love Rob Zombie music. I love Rob Zombie's wife. I just think he's amazing. Everything he does is common. Have you seen The Monsters? He redid The Monsters with Sherry. Yeah.
I don't think I've seen that.
It got everyone, hey, it's so bad, it's really bad. The whole cancel. Just cancel everything because it's not the same. Yeah. Brilliant. Absolutely loved it. It was wicked. It was excellent. Sherry plays an amazing Lily. Obviously, I've got Lily's hair. And I just thought she was great. And Herman was great. And the story was great. It was how Lily and Herman fell in love.
Oh, okay.
It was beautiful. I really liked it.
I might have seen snippets of it when it came out and then probably heard people trashing it and just forgot about it.
I would rather, it sounds odd, but you know when people go, oh, you've got to watch this, it's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, someone comes on telly, I think, no, I'm not going to because I don't want to get into that shit that you lot are into. Yeah. So then I'll watch something like 4 or 5 years later when everyone's rinsed it to death and I've got 4 seasons to watch. I'll do it then.
Yeah, I've done that with shows like Vikings and Breaking Bad. Just recently started watching them.
Yeah.
I only just watched Vikings last year and I've just started watching The Boys this week.
Are you enjoying it?
2 episodes in and it's mental, but I actually like it. And I love the butcher in it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I love the scene where he drives through the shop into Translucent.
Yeah.
And then proceeds to like capture him and try and kill him. That was quite interesting.
See that I've obviously because I can only date people who are mentally unwell. I like. Guess which one I like the most. Which guy I fancy?
I've only seen 2 episodes, but the most mental one seems like it's probably going to be Homelander.
Yeah, so Homelander. Yeah. Oh God, yeah, I could mother the shit out of him, as you can tell.
Yeah, I'm sure he would like.
You know, have you seen the scene yet?
I've seen the scene where he's staring at her milking herself through the wall, and I'm getting very sort of.
What is he going to do?
He likes to be mummied, sort of vibes.
He does like to be mummied, and the scene where you see him being mummied. They were only supposed to do that once. And apparently, because he fancied her when she was in The Karate Kid, because she was the original girlfriend in The Karate Kid. And so they cast her and he was like, yeah, I always fancied her. And so they did this scene, the mummying scene, which I'm not going to ruin for you. And the actor insisted that they do it a lot more. So it's
don't blame him. I would do the same. I'd be like, oh, damn, that was just shit.
But he was like, no, we need to shoot lots more of those scenes. So that mummying thing became a big thing in The Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Generation, I think it's called Generation V, is the spin-off. Equally fabulous.
See, when they do spin-offs, I'm so invested in the main characters. If they're not in it, I'm like, I don't really
But
care.
you don't need them to be in it because it's like all the Walking Dead spin-offs. Everyone's moaning about those. But
Yeah.
Glenn's got his own spin-off soon. And my boss will be very happy about that. Looks amazing. It's in France.
Yeah.
You know, to get a plane. It looks so good, and I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch all of them.
Well, you're probably going to think, where have you been sitting? But I haven't seen The Walking Dead yet.
No.
Haven't seen it.
You've got like 700 seasons.
I know. Well, that's why I've been putting it off, because everyone was like, "Oh, I've just got onto season 9 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Do you want to watch it with me?" I'm like, "Well,
you're going to miss so
I'm not
much
going to get what's
stuff.
going on."
But you know when you can go online and they can do like
a shortened version. Yeah. I
do
that.
that.
Quite a lot.
But it's the Generation V, incredibly good, and
Yeah.
all the actors are these younger kids, and they're amazing. But sadly, one of the characters has died in real life. He was in a motorcycle accident. Beautiful boy, and he was in the new series of Sabrina the Chilling Tales on Netflix. Have you ever seen that?
No.
Amazing. It's why my house is black, because I now live in the house at the Arms Zone. And he was just the most gorgeous character, bisexual, and loved men, loved women, and he was just the most full of so much light and love. And he's the same kind of character in Generation V.
Yeah.
And he died on a motorcycle not so long ago. It's so sad.
Yeah, well, it's a shame when stuff like that happens, because I mean, like, look at Heath Ledger. They were planning on doing the Dark Knight Rises with him in it, but obviously because he died, they planned it before he died. They replaced his character with Scarecrow.
Yeah.
So he was going to be playing the role of the judge.
Yeah.
In the scene where all the thugs and the villains are in court, and I think that would have saved that film from getting panned.
Yeah, because it wasn't good. I don't like Batman.
I quite like Tom Hardy's
Do you
Bane,
fancy
though.
Penguin, though? The new series that's coming out.
Oh, Colin Farrell.
But Colin has literally sat down and watched every episode of The Sopranos. And,
oh, yeah.
It's basically Tony Soprano as the Penguin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think James Gandolfini would have made a good Penguin.
I think he would have. He's dead, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He died in like 2014.
Yeah, which is so sad. But did you watch the oh God, it was supposed to be him when he was young. There was another film that came out. Oh God. And it's him when he was a little boy.
Oh. Yeah, I know what you mean. I've seen the trailer for it.
Really good.
So it's Tony Soprano
when he's a little boy
as a kid,
and then growing.
I quite like the idea of that.
It was good
because it's not obviously he's not going to be in it, obviously because he's dead, but also because he's not that age. But it's sort of a little token for the Sopranos fans that are missing something.
Yeah, look what they're going to do with allegedly with the Sons of Anarchy thing, because they can't believe how much people are still. Have you not watched it? Have you?
I've got to season 3. So
do you love it?
Watch it? Yeah, I do like it.
Yeah.
I love Ron Perlman.
I think the entire cast
and Gemma in it.
Yeah.
Is like up there in top tier MILF levels.
Yeah. Okay, who's your top 5 MILFs?
Top 5 MILFs?
Yeah. So this is a good one.
I mean, Sigourney Weaver in anything
Alien,
recent.
she's a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But her in, is it Paul?
In Paul?
Yeah, you know, she's like the head of the CIA or something.
She turns up and shoots. We had that on my holiday in Wales last week, and I didn't realise Sigourney was in that.
She looked pretty banging in that.
She's hot. She's always hot.
Cate Blanchett.
Obviously.
She's probably number 1.
Yeah.
And Sarah Connor from Terminator 2.
Yeah. Even
when that film when I was a kid,
You were like, I definitely
I was
like that lady.
Yeah. I think that's what got me like initially into girls that work out.
Yeah.
Because I think the scene of her like
When she's doing
pull-ups on the bed in
Yeah.
the asylum, and then she breaks out and beats the shit out of dudes. I was like,
yeah,
that's my kind.
that's my kind of woman. So I just like them all. But yeah, so then I think we're on 3. You got 2 more.
Oh god, what was the one I initially said?
So it was it was Kate Blanchett.
Yeah.
Then Sarah Connor, Sigourney Weaver.
But what was the one that started the?
Oh God, MILF.
The one that people are probably watching this like. How have they got that much short of a memory?
Whiskey. Who was it? Well, obviously it was MILF from The Boys because she is a MILF.
Well, it was. You said an actress, and I said she's got major.
Oh, it was Gemma. Gemma from Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah, I put her
so
in the top
Gemma will
5.
go in 4th. Who's number 5?
Stifler's mum. Obviously.
Stifler's
You can't have a MILF list without Stifler.
Without Stifler's mum. Yeah.
On-screen MILFs, anyway. Obviously, there's some in real life that I would put in the top as well.
See, I'd say mine are probably more old school, so I'd go with Demi Moore in Striptease, Ultimate MILF, amazing. Then another MILF mom, Salma Hayek in Grown Ups.
I haven't seen Grown Ups.
Really?
But she was in. That's just got me back on topic again.
Dusk Till Dawn.
Dusk Till Dawn.
I mean, he wrote that in as well, you know. You know, when he takes the water down her leg. Yeah, he wrote that in because he wanted to. Yeah.
I don't blame him. I would have written something slightly more R-rated
than drinking whiskey off her toes.
Yeah, I would have.
I think that would really suit you.
Maybe.
Yeah, you would really like that.
I
But who wouldn't?
I wouldn't say
It's
no if she was offering, even now,
Yeah.
and she's like
Oh,
in her
God.
50s.
When people go, I think it's so funny how men or society, even women, think that we age like milk. We don't. No, you don't have to say, oh, I'm going to be smaller and not as attractive. I'm not going to dress like that. I'm not going to do this. I'm 40 now. I need to weed it back. Women are at their highest in their 40s, 50s. French women don't do the whole, oh, I'm 60, I no longer want to look sexy. We learn about ourselves more as we get older. And I think that that's a good thing. And that's probably why all of these new films are coming out about younger men and older women. Because it's becoming more of a thing. What are we looking at?
So we've got a question.
Oh.
What a nice couple. Thanks. I grew myself. And what do you think is the best movie soundtrack? I think AC/DC and Iron Man really fits the film.
Oh my God, I totally think that's cool.
That's a good one, actually, because we were talking about this yesterday, about recent films that have really good soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
And
this is The Fall Guy. Have you watched the new film?
Is that the Ryan Reynolds one?
It's not Ryan Reynolds. It's Ryan Gosling.
I haven't seen that, no.
The whole way through the film, it's different versions of I Was Made for Loving You by
Kiss.
And it's different versions, and each one is incredible because I love Kiss.
Yeah,
And all the holiday, me and the kids have been like, I was made for love. I just kept singing it to each other because it's so good. But my favourite soundtrack is Lost Boys soundtrack.
Yeah, I like
Banger
Lost
after
Boys.
banger. You've got In Excess on there. It's amazing.
But recently, I'm going to bang on about this film a lot until the sun comes up.
Bye.
Yeah. The new Deadpool Wolverine film.
What did you like best about it? Did it make you feel like a little boy again?
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Because when I was a kid, I grew up on the X-Men animated series in the 90s.
Yeah.
And Wolverine and Gambit were always my two favourite characters.
Mm.
Wolverine's obviously just a badass. But Gambit, there's something about his personality that was just like,
Yeah.
I like I like it.
Yeah.
And in the new one, you've seen it?
No,
right?
I've not seen it yet.
Oh,
I was
God.
considering going on my own last night.
You should have gone. You could have came with me.
Yeah.
Because I went to see it last night again for the third time. There's one scene in it. I don't want to spoil it for you.
You won't, because my kid's seen it, so she's told me everything about it.
So there's a scene in it where obviously he's in the suit, the comic accurate suit.
Yeah.
For
the yellow suit.
All the film, yeah. And then he loses his sleeves from a long fight scene with Deadpool. And then towards the end,
is it when he does that and then his suit comes off him? Because that worked for me when I saw it on TikTok.
Well, that made me think I need to get back to the gym and do more sit-ups. But it's the moment where they walk out to fight the final fight scene.
Yeah.
And he reaches up in slow motion and pulls the cowl out from under his uniform.
Yeah.
And pulls it over his head. That was just like, I've been waiting since the 90s to see this
Wolverine
in live action.
Did you cry at the end of Logan?
I did. Oh, Logan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah. I think everyone did.
I went with me, my current wife, and her husband. And me and her husband, because she was in the middle, we don't have sex with each other. Me and her husband were crying, and she was like, "What is wrong with this?" With her arms across her, and held each other's hands, going, "I'm so sad." I couldn't believe it when they killed him. I just love him.
Well, they sort of retcon that in quite a disrespectful but very funny
what, in Deadpool?
way. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So Deadpool starts from.
Because the multiverse, isn't it? So he doesn't have to resurrect him or anything like that.
Well, Deadpool, it does take place in that same universe.
Yeah.
So he does go to the grave of Logan.
Yeah.
And he does dig him up. But I'm not going to say what else happens because it's very funny and I have to watch it on screen.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. I might go tonight with the wife.
I think that is one of the funniest opening scenes that I've seen.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the song fits so well.
Yeah. So that's your favourite soundtrack at the moment?
At the moment, yeah. I think in general, it's probably like the Guardians of the Galaxy films have brilliant soundtracks.
Oh, yeah.
It's all 80s stuff.
Yeah.
I love the 80s.
Anything that's why with White Tiger, who I'm going to mercilessly plug again, that's why they cast me as the stripper because they wanted an 80s stripper. Okay. So I was like, okay, well, I've got a leather hat and I don't know how I'm going to manage to pull this one off. But the whole vibe of them are Motley Crue. They're like a proper 80s hairband.
Was that hard to pull off being a stripper?
Oh my God, I can't imagine where I found the backstory for that from. but there's years shimmying around a pole. I didn't class myself as a stripper. I classed myself as like the Buzz Lightyear because it was falling with style because I could not work a pole. So I just kind of fall off it after a bit rather than gracefully descend like my sisters. But doing me lap dance. But I said I lap danced the band in the video, hence nipples. But we had to put metal nipple covers over my nipples because the director was going, "We won't get the film, you'll get banned off YouTube. You can't show any nipples, you can't show any nipples." And the band were very against my nipples not being shown. So
I'm not surprised.
We had full metal nipple. Great name for a band, that.
It is actually. Yeah. It would be a good song.
Yeah.
Like a good.
I might ask Nick if he wants to write that. But a great band, as I was saying. But full 80s, that's my favourite fashion and favourite songs and favourite movies and men in the 80s were men.
Yeah, I think 80s action heroes were top tier.
Yeah.
You had like Rambo,
Bruce Willis
in Die Hard.
Is Die Hard
Arnold Schwarzenegger
a Christmas movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes place at Christmas.
It's a Christmas movie.
And he says, "Ho, ho, ho."
Yeah.
In it.
He does. He also says "yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker," which they won't show you on ITV, which sucks.
Yeah.
You know. Okay, have you ever seen the film? One of my favourite Christmas films, The Long Kiss Goodnight.
No.
How?
I think Gremlins is my favourite Christmas film.
Is it a Christmas film or is it a horror movie?
It's a horror Christmas movie.
It's a horror Christmas movie like Krampus. If you watch The Long Kiss Goodnight, top tier MILF, because she's an assassin who's lost her memory, had a baby, and then gets her memory back and becomes an assassin again.
Yeah.
And it's the lady out of Beetlejuice. What was her name? Gina Davis.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's a new Beetlejuice coming out.
How you feeling about that?
Well, I like it, but I don't like Jenna Ortega.
Really? Wednesday?
Yeah, I think if she wasn't in it...
Why don't you like her?
It's just something about, you know, when they like try and push like a young actor into everything, like Tom Holland. He was in fucking everything for 2 years. And
Yeah,
I get sick of seeing them.
The last Spider-Man. Is it the last one when Zendaya's in it? Is that the
She's
last
in
one?
all three of them.
Right, so that one, when he's in his room and his top comes off, and I went, oh, fucking hell. And my daughter was like, Mom, he's, I don't know how old, like in his 20s. And I
he's
thought,
like 21 in that one.
oh, God, he's just beautiful. I think he's such a beautiful young man.
He's too baby face looking though. I know the character's meant to be like that.
A child.
Yeah.
A young man.
But like, you've got to have Tobey Maguire as number one Spider-Man, right?
Really?
Him in the third one when he gets the black suit and
then he becomes dark.
And he wears the black suit and he's doing all that down the street.
No, because I don't think he's remotely manly. So when I see someone acting like that, I'm like, shut up, kid. Be a boy, be a little boy.
Yeah,
leave that for the men.
In the black suit,
no,
his Spider-Man was so fucking cool.
I do like black suit Spider-Man. I think it's hot, but I like it on girls. It's one of my favourite cosplays on a girl.
Yeah, so, I think mine's Catwoman.
I mean, men always love Catwoman.
But very specifically, the Michael Keaton era Catwoman.
So you want Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman?
100%.
Because she's unhinged, isn't she?
Yeah, and she's really pale and in black leather.
It looks good.
And then just with the red lipstick. Perfect.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah.
Fetishism.
That was another one when I was a kid. I was just like, you know, and you're just sort of just starting to realise what being attracted to the opposite sex is.
Well, I like all of the sexes, so... And I blame DC Comics for that. Because how could you not with that kind of material growing up?
Yeah, I mean...
Everyone's in spandex, everyone's in leather.
Everyone in the cinema when Hugh Jackman's shirt explodes off him.
Did it make you question
at the end?
Yourself?
It doesn't make me question it, but I was like...
understand.
I was like, fucking look, man looks good. He's in his 50s.
I love it when guys get little guy crushes there and they're like, I wouldn't, but if I was, I would.
I think if I had to pick, because we had this, me and my flatmate have these weird conversations all the time. So I think if I had to pick a dude, because she's like always saying, oh, if I was a lesbian, this is who I'd be interested in. Yeah. And then we'll have like an hour-long conversation on it.
Yeah.
And it's normally, I think, certain people are nicer to look at, and then others I'm like, but I think if I was like genuinely, if I was going to be that way, I'd go for more like someone like Ryan Reynolds because he's funny as fuck. Or Chris Hemsworth. I think, they're
not shallow like me.
Well, they're good-looking dudes, but they're also got personality.
They also make you laugh.
Yeah. And I think realistically, that's what I got. I'm very 50-50 on that. Obviously, looks are important. But
then the personality.
I dated a girl who won Miss Nigeria. She was a catwalk model and she was banging.
Stunning.
Everyone who met her was like, God, she's a 10 out of 10. And I was like, yeah. But as soon as we're done with the sex... I'm just like, get the fuck away from me, because she was so boring. her personality was
That's really
non-existent,
sad, man.
and it
Stop
was.
having sex with the girl, man.
Well, I did like I did sort of stop dating her, and then I was like, I'm not going to see her again because she did my head in. She was so boring. And
How, like, so without the person that was the sex good?
I mean,
I was sex good
actually,
because I
no,
was
it
there.
wasn't.
So.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was at the time.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but since then, I've been with a
You
lot
now
more
realise
people. And I'm
no.
like, no, but that was what I thought was like a 9, and that was like a
Not as
5.
good.
But yeah, her looks were a 10.
Yeah.
Her personality was like a 0.
Yeah.
It was genuinely, I had nothing in common with her.
So you
Movies.
were shallow as fuck then. You basically went for that based on looks.
Well,
There
she
was
actually,
no substance backing
she
it up.
came on to me,
Well,
so I
obviously
was
you're a good
like,
looking guy, and she probably thought you liked her.
yeah, well, I did. I was staring at her. And I was like,
See, I've had the opposite, where I've gone with a guy who aesthetically was beautiful and had all the correct working.
yeah,
If you know what I mean, it's very. And you would have thought with his background would have been awesome. Awful, absolutely no sexual chemistry between each other. You would think two people who both look like they probably, would have a good time, would have, and it was just 0. And then I've dated a guy who was just ginger and chubby and an architect, and this area was not that. Amazing, solid 10. Miss him every day. His wife was a very lucky, and people would see
probably
us out
watching this
together.
now, like
Hi,
getting
hi,
ready to
Darren.
hang himself.
And he was the funniest guy. But you would look at, like, people would never believe we were a couple when we go out. They'd be like,
Yeah.
you're with him, and I'd be like, what are you being so rude for?
Yeah,
Okay. Yes, I'm with him. He's great, amazing in bed, and so all these abs and shit don't mean nothing. Yeah, find yourself a nerd and hold on, because he's just going to use you for your looks otherwise. Find yourself a nerd.
yeah. Well, I mean, at the time, I was only like 20.
Oh, that will never
4.
stop. Men will always use hot women.
24. Well, looks like we have a.
This is what I will always use hot men.
Yeah.
So, and younger men and women. Right, we have a customer at the door.
Yeah.
My boss is coming.
So you're gonna hear.
Go round that way.
You're gonna hear a slight bit of background noise now.
So we're gonna. Yes, sorry.
But yeah,
We are in a working tally parlour at the moment, and it is to be expected.
I know what you mean about that though, because I've dated girls that have been like, I've had friends be like, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, but I get on really well with her.
Get on with her really well,
and
don't
she's actually dynamite in bed.
Yeah.
Some girls are.
Ugly sex is hard.
Yeah.
So when people go, I don't understand why you're dating that chubby little guy, I'm like, it's incredibly bad.
Well, I think for me, if the personality is good and they're good in bed, I'm like, at least after the sex,
you've got something else to do.
We can chat and hang out, and it's fun.
Yeah.
But when I've been with people that are like a 10, but they've got no personality, as soon as that's over, I'm just like, I don't want to be around you now. Like, I want you to get out.
Can you please? What's Sam for good morning? Goodbye. Yeah, I totally understand. But that's kind of why, like, people.
It's finding that balance, though, isn't it? It's like, because you've kind of got to experiment with people. You might meet someone and be like, oh, they're hot, and you get on well with them, but they might be shit in bed.
But it's always shocking to me that, like, you can meet people who work in different industries, and you'll think, oh, because she looks like this, she's going to be like that, or he does that for a living, he's going to be like that. And they can be the sweetest human being with the deepest level of vulnerability, and so insecure. And but you're a model, you're an MMA fighter, you're a tattoo artist, you're this, you're that. You should be, aren't you? You're a professional boxer. I've dated athletes. I've dated an Olympian athlete, and he was the most insecure with the most perfect body.
Yeah.
that you have ever seen. Even his hair made me jealous. He was absolutely perfection. And he was the most insecure human being I've ever dated. And I had to constantly be like, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, you're amazing, you're amazing. And I couldn't fucking cope anymore.
Yeah.
So, ditched him for a little fat one. Awesome. And it's the same with like curvy girls. You get a lot of people who go, oh, I wouldn't date a girl who doesn't look after herself, don't like curvy women or whatever. I've dated curvy women, and I'm telling you now, it's awesome. It's just like super sizey and fun. And I love the bigger boobs and the bigger bum and
Well, you know what they say about chubby girls? They love putting stuff in their mouth.
yeah.
They're really good at it.
And also marry a girl with little hands and actually really got big hands. Tiny hands. Yeah, I totally agree. And actually, larger women, I find as a rule, are tighter. I swear, don't know why.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree on that one.
And it's a fallacy about girls who've got kids as well. Because I've dated a girl who had 5 children and impeccable.
Yeah.
Absolutely impeccable. And top number one.
I've dated a lot of MILFs, and the MILFs are always better.
Really?
Yeah, I think that comes into it a lot as well.
Just because you like being mothered?
No, I think it's just because like the experience, and they know what they want, so they don't fuck around. They're just like, this is just like, you can walk into the house and they'll be stood there naked and be like,
let's get this out.
Get
I've got to do the ironing in an hour.
Yeah.
Come on, as you were.
There's no messing around. Whereas dating younger girls, like girls that are younger than me, or girls that are in their early 20s or 18, 19, I find them annoying.
Really?
Yeah. And I don't like the games, like the playing games.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't got time for that shit. Do you want me to come over and get naked?
I've got stuff to do.
Yeah. I don't want to come over and spend 3 hours rubbing up against my jeans and then go home and just be frustrated all night.
Yeah.
I prefer it when
like let's get to it. It's been fun. Au revoir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't like snuggling.
And I think MILFs are definitely.
But I find I don't think I look very maternal like this. I don't think you look at me and you go, oh, she's a mum, or she'd mother me. Maybe these, but that's about it. But I find now, as I'm getting older, whether I'm dating 30-years-olds, because I don't really date.
Blinded again by the sun. I'm squinting a lot because it's very bright.
I don't really date over 35. Not really. Not recently. And so I date from 21 up. But I find that they all want to be very much mothered now, men.
How do you mean?
They like being held. That this fucking Homelander thing, man. They're all into that shit now. They all want to be rocked and breastfed. They all want to.
I mean.
Yeah. But like there's like in them, and then there's literally it's like having a child latched on. But then they like being rocked. They like the hair being played with. You know, you're going to do them food. Like,
see, I don't like that. I don't like.
I really like being babied. These are like 30-year-old fucking men.
Yeah.
Like big men who go to the gym, work out, and then they've got their head on your lap and you have your stroke. And I sit there and I'm like,
we're basically just pet dogs. It's like having a pet dog.
I want an exotic pet like a stripper. That's that kind of thing.
Lick peanut butter off you.
Yeah.
Make you a coffee.
Yeah, no, they never do. Around. They never fucking make a coffee. I have to do everything.
I always make coffee.
Do you?
Yeah.
See, you already beaten them. They don't move.
I like good coffee. I'm very picky with my coffee.
Yeah, I'm very much into good coffee.
When I see that cheap freeze-dried Tesco value shit, I'm like, get that shit away from me.
Would you like an instant coffee? No.
I like the Taylor's Volcano 5-strength coffee.
No, I have a coffee. I've got a Smeg coffee machine at home and nothing else will do. So, no, I'm a coffee snob. So is Madam in there. The only reason she runs this shop is to supply her Starbucks addiction. But so younger girls, do they tend to watch the movies that you like, or do you feel like you have to educate them?
I think like a good example is and I haven't mentioned this before I rant about it a lot to people, but I haven't mentioned it on the podcast before. I went on, I now use this as my example of why I do not date girls that are 18, 19, 20.
Yeah.
I went on a date about 5 years ago, probably now.
Yeah.
With this 18-year-old girl, and she was pretty nice looking.
Mm.
Chatting to her for a couple of days, went on a date. She was on her phone the whole time. She kept picking her phone up like that, and I was just like, put your fucking phone down. That gets on my nerves.
That could be nerves.
Yeah, but also it was like, if you're texting other people, fair enough, but if it's important. But for me, if I'm on a date, I'm like,
you're
I'm on a
supposed to be
date.
focusing on me.
Yeah. And I was asking her about films she liked, and I mentioned like John Wick, and she was like,
Didn't
what's
know
that?
who John Wick was.
I said, you know Keanu Reeves? Who's that? From The Matrix, what's that? And I was like, oh, this is getting more and more. My blood was boiling. 32.
Oh, so don't date 18-year-olds anymore.
No. I won't date anyone younger than me at all. Even if you're 31 and a half. Like,
I have to date everyone younger than me because anyone my age is either dead or married. So,
well, they can't get it up anymore.
Yeah, well, they figured out they're gay. So they haven't figured out that they're gay. So it's going to be found out recently. But yeah, so no, I have to date younger. It's just guys. It sounds men can say this about women. They've got because she's got kids, she's got this, she's got that. A guy over the age of 40, they've got a lot of baggage.
Yeah.
And they've got a lot. The Olympian guy was over in his 40s. Obviously, he come out of that now because he was aging out. But the amount of reassurance you have to give them, whereas guys your age and in their 20s, you're just like fucking puppies, man. You're just so consumed with like life, and you just love everything, and everything's like great. Grumpy old men.
I'm very easy to please. I'm like, if I'm dating someone and they're so annoying to be with, I'm just like, I'm very easy to please. All you got to do is be around me a bit, keep my balls empty and make me laugh, and I'm happy. That's it. That's all I need.
It's the 2 F's. Fuck them and feed them. They'll be fine. Yeah. I
don't need to be going on a holiday anywhere. I don't need to be bought presents, anything like that.
I do.
It's nice. It's like, don't get me wrong, it's nice.
Take me on holiday, buy me presents.
If someone's like, oh, I know you like this film, so I got you this thing from this film.
Oh, I love that.
Oh, that's
cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, I like that.
But I don't need that. It's nice, but some people need that.
The nicest gift a guy's ever given me was his earring. We were sat next to each other having like a little chat, and he took his earring out and put it in my ear, and I was like, oh, thank you. And he went, no, I wanted to wear it, I like it. And I was like, it's cute, it was a diamond. It was a good earring. But yeah, I miss him. Spanish men are very good. They're fun.
I found like I've dated a lot of women from around the world.
I'm in Nigeria. That's pretty cool. Although she's watching this now, she thinks you're a dick. Because she said she had.
She's not going to be watching this.
She's not going to be watching. If I was your ex-girlfriend, I would.
Well,
I'd be stalking the shit out of you right now watching this.
Yeah, I mean,
as
some
my exes. Hi guys, I'm not going to mention any of you. Bye, Darren. I miss you, Darren. Please come back to me.
I wouldn't ask for any of mine back.
No.
I mean, there's one that was probably the best in bed. Not gonna lie, but when I was dating her, I didn't know that she was married with kids because she never told me. And then I found out via Instagram suggestions.
Oh shit! And then she came up on there.
Suggested friend on Instagram, and we didn't meet on there. And I was like, hold on. Clicked on it, and it was like wedding photos from like a year ago. Pictures of her like out here, and I was like,
and she didn't tell you she had kids.
Didn't know she had kids.
She's an assassin.
She was only like,
she probably won gold at the Olympics for shooting.
25 or something. She had abs, so I was like, you couldn't tell.
Whoever's training her, I need to be friends with.
Yeah.
And she was sassy in the sack.
Oh yeah, lethal.
Yeah.
Like I've probably still got photos somewhere on my phone.
When we come off this, I'm going to look.
I had scratch marks all down here. I looked like I'd been fucked up by a werewolf.
See, I'm very much a look of like, don't
she
leave marks on your prey.
Yeah. I don't mind, but I don't like people like leaving marks here. I hate that.
Yeah, but if you do hook up with someone and then you notice after I've hooked up with someone and then gone to the gym straight after, obviously I had a shower first, and then I was like that in the car and I went, oh no! So I had to walk like that into Boots and get concealer and like touch my neck up.
Yeah,
and
but
then
you
go
can
in the
just
gym
move your hair.
No, you're still gonna see. It was black. I don't know how he did it. He must have been a Nosferatu. Because every time he came anywhere near me, I'd have little bite marks.
I don't mind scratches on me where I can put a shirt on. It's fine.
What's the point with scratching?
I don't know. I think she just did it because it was like she was very loud aggressive as well. Like I was living in a block at the time where there's like 20 rooms on one floor.
Yeah.
And
were you a student?
When she left, no, I wasn't a
student. I was going to say, that's not down.
But when she left, all the lads were outside the room and they were like, what the fuck were you doing to her in there? And they were like, I was genuinely scared. And I went, so was I.
Me too. I like her. She sounds fun.
She was fun.
Yeah, we miss her.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I could be as rough as I wanted to be with her, and she could take it.
And she didn't
mind. Tiny. She was like 5'2", like 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Always in the gym, so she had abs. She was lean.
Amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, she moved away, sadly.
Ah, well, good, because her husband would have probably shot you in the end when he found out. So.
No, I think he was a bit of a geek. I'd have been fine.
Don't.
Definitely could have kicked it.
Don't know. Look at that. Who's that serial killer, the cannibal one?
What, Jeffrey Dahmer?
Yeah, he was a fucking geek. He'd eat you.
I'd kill Jeffrey
What
Dahmer.
did you think of that series? Did you watch it?
I haven't seen the series, no.
What do you think of Evan? Is it Evan Peters?
The guy who plays him?
Yeah.
I just see Quicksilver from the X-Men films. I'm just waiting for him to like play.
I forgot he did that.
Play a song and run around in slow motion, moving things around.
Have you watched him in American Horror Story?
No.
Seeing his relationship with his girlfriend who was in American Horror Story with him, he had to go to rehab even though he wasn't on drugs because she made him. That's a great girlfriend. Have you had another question?
No, well, there was, but it's gone.
Ask again.
Yeah. Well, I'm assuming
I'm not sure I haven't lost a nipple while I'm watching it. Sorry.
Lost one? They what, like disappeared or popped
well,
out?
They just pop out. I can't really feel them after the second boob job.
I think
I'm gonna have another drink because it's Saturday.
It is Saturday, isn't it?
It is Saturday all day long.
There you go.
And I've had all my customers for the day, so if anyone wants to get a cute little hole put in them, DM me or walk in.
Or a hole filled in.
You never know.
DM me.
This will be the guy for you. When people say to me, what is that tattoo for? And I go, well, this is beginner and this is professional. So
okay.
That's not true, by the way. It's just Danny did it because she thought it was cool. But no, American Horror Story, another new thing, as it were, with horror. Loved them. Thought they were great. The last one I think they did was about HIV. And I think that HIV is a very essential thing to cover. And I thought that it was really out there to use the serial killer as AIDS, because that's what it was about, the last one.
Okay.
There was this guy in a gimp suit and you'd see him and you'd think, oh my God, he's a fucking killer, he's killing people. And it was HIV.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, wow, that's really unusual. But I thought that because the writers had done it in such a way, it would have been a beautiful film. It wasn't a series to me and it wasn't horror, although it is horrific. And that pissed me off because I was like, I watch these every year without fail because I want to see a killer clown or a vampire or whatever. And I felt like I'd been cheated.
Yeah.
That he'd done such a clever thing, but he'd robbed me of my horror because I just didn't, it didn't work for me.
Well, there's one that's just reminded me. There's one vampire film that is it's one of my favourite vampire films. Blade.
Really, because
It's
he
just
saved
such-
your comic books, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because without Blade, they wouldn't have got their finance, and then we wouldn't have Wolverine, and we wouldn't have.
Well, Blade was the first comic movie.
Have you seen who the recast as Blade?
Wow. When you see Deadpool Wolverine,
Is Blade in it?
they haven't recast him.
Is it actually Wesley?
You'll have to see.
I'm going to go see it
You're
tonight
gonna
now.
have to
We're
see.
supposed to be staying in and getting drunk and watching Magic Mike again, but
Wesley
we're going to go into that.
Snipes does not age, and he still kicks ass.
I'm sure
that's all
he
I'm
is
gonna say.
actually a fucking vampire because he doesn't age. He's just perfect, isn't he?
Yeah, he was so cool in that. And I think what I loved about it is I loved him and Whistler's relationship.
Oh, I love Whistler.
And the action in it, all the fight
Is
scenes.
there any
were
references
really
to Deadpool? Because obviously Ryan was in Blade, wasn't he?
There is, yeah.
Oh, is there?
They referenced
Oh, I've got to go see it now.
They referenced Blade 3.
Really? Which I loved.
Yeah.
I love all the Blade movies.
The first one's the best. The second one was just slightly under that.
Yeah.
And then the third one was below that. So I think I'm not saying they get worse, but they're
never going to be.
They can't live up to the previous one, whereas the Deadpool films, I think, get better.
Yeah, I would agree, actually.
The second one, I love Josh Brolin in it. I liked the Juggernaut. The kid being the villain was a bit weird.
Yeah, the little fat kid.
But the comedy in it was good.
See, I thought
Domino was quite a good character.
Did you know who Bring Me the Horizon are?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen their video for I Would Die For You? I think it's I Would Die For You.
Probably.
And that's the Blade. It's the Blade film. It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, really, really good. But I love Blade. I think Blade's amazing. And I mean, who'd have thought Ross could have been a cool vampire? It's Matt Goss, isn't it? Is it Matt or Luke?
Luke Goss. Who's also in Hellboy 2.
Is he?
The guy with the white hair, the pale prince.
Shit! Yeah, I love Hellboy.
Yeah.
And I think they're doing a new one.
I really liked him in that. He was so good in that.
I loved Hellboy. Thought Hellboy was sick.
The new one looks really low budget though.
Really?
The Hellboy practical effects
Is shit.
look shit.
Oh, that's so
Which
sad.
is really disappointing because Ron Perlman looked really good. I think David Harbour's Hellboy looked slightly better.
Because Ron was in Sons of Anarchy, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And do you know all of the monster characters that he's played over the years?
Oh, he's played loads.
I guarantee.
I think his first one was like Beauty and the Beast, wasn't it?
It was Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
Was it? Was that him?
That's him. And I remember going to watch Bigfoot and the Hendersons and thinking, I actually fancy a Sasquatch. What's wrong with me? And then when I realised who the actor was, I was like, oh, that's why I liked it. Because I can tell it's wrong.
Well, he played the Beast in, I think it was called Beauty and the Beast, with Linda Hamilton.
Yeah.
Linda Hamilton.
Yeah, Linda Hamilton was hot in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing, like, they played up, like, Ron Perlman being, like, the ugly Beast.
Yeah.
But he's actually not a bad-looking dude.
He's a great-looking guy.
He's got, like, a bit of a caveman look.
Yeah, even when he's playing.
That's
yeah.
quite good.
All day long. It's like, have you watched Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Have you watched the new one?
Unfortunately, yeah.
The new one I liked. I thought it was good. So an easy date, you can take me to see any film and I'll be, that was really good, I liked it. I'm very, very optimistic about a lot of things. That's why I date so badly. Oh yeah, what do you do for a living? Yeah, great, let's do it. Okay, you haven't got a job, you don't drive. Yeah, wonderful. No.
I have to get my mum to drop us off.
The original, yeah. You know, he's got to be at school in the morning. So.
Well, you know, I drive. My car's right.
Yeah, he does drive. He does drive, and he has a job, which is awesome. But no, Ron, God love him, sexy as anything. Very sexy in Sons of Anarchy. Very sexy in the Bigfoot and the Hendersons, and as Hellboy. Just always loved him. where are we going with this? I've lost my trail of thought now. That's saying why I like bad things. Oh, Roadhouse. I like ridiculous.
Yeah.
Absolutely ridiculous, but I like it. But the original one, do you remember his best friend in it?
The old man?
Yeah. Do you know how old he was? Do you know how old Sam was when he was in that film?
I'm pretty sure he was like 5 years older than Patrick Swayze or something.
He was
crazy.
40. He was like 40, 41, and everyone thinks he's a geriatric in it. He was a fine-looking man. That's what set me. This is where I was going with that. That's what set me with my daddy issues. I watched that film when I was a little girl, and I was like,
My
"Hello,
mum used to
Daddy."
fancy him. And
How could you not? How could you not fancy him?
I mean, if he was 40 in that, he looks about it like his mid to late 50s.
No, does he just got grey hair?
But he's so cool.
It's his body and the way he fights, and I like that he's trick leg as well.
I like that he limps around. He still fucks people up.
Yeah.
And I love the bit where Swayze, like, he touches a nerve and Swayze goes to swing at him and he
just grabs his hand.
And he's like, "You don't want this."
I love it.
I was like, "Oh."
My current wife, she watched the film recently. Like my ex-wife is covered in tattoos and has a shaved head and pierced nipples and drives a motorbike. My current wife is a little blonde with no tattoos. She looks like she sings in a choir. She's amazing. Yeah. And she's very naughty. But she watched Roadhouse for the first time, the original one with Patrick Swayze, and she went, "I now understand why you dress and act the way you act because of watching that film." So that changed you as a person. It really did. So,
what about it? Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott and the fashion and like men being men and women dancing on tables and drinking in shithole bars.
I did try to be very Swayze-esque when I was working.
Really?
When I was in my 20s.
Have you seen him as a drag queen?
No.
He's in a film called 214, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar, with Wesley Snipes.
Really?
Yeah.
That sounds mental.
and you would never believe it, but it's actually a really good film. And Rizzo from Grease is in it as well.
I haven't seen Grease.
It's a really good film. You've never seen Grease?
Is that John Travolta?
Yeah.
Can't remember.
You have to watch Grease.
I'm not into musicals. The only musicals that I like are the Blues Brothers.
Yeah.
And the Tenacious D movie.
Obviously. Seen him in concert this year. Amazing.
Yeah.
Really good. Have you seen the film God is a Bullet?
No.
A great film. I recommend this film to everyone that I meet. You know, when someone goes, "Oh, is there anything worth watching?" Brilliant film. Shit ending. Just the special effects at the end pissed me off. But besides that, great film. It's a true story as well. So a girl escapes a satanic cult, as it were.
Yeah.
And the leader of the satanic cult kidnaps another little girl.
Oh, God. Carry on.
And it's the hunt for her. Her dad's a cop, and he has to go into the underbelly of Satanism and drug running. It's wicked. Watch it. It's a good film.
So we just got asked there, worst film ever.
Oh, God.
And it says, for me, it was the new Bond film or the Ghostbusters remake.
Are they saying the women one?
I'm guessing that one, yeah.
Go to hell. Okay. It was a great film. It was really relevant. Some little girls want a Ghostbuster, want a girl to be a Ghostbuster. You know what? Yeah, we wanted it. We had it. It was completely separate to your film. Just accept it was a good film. I like the film.
You can't have Ghostbusters without the original Ghostbusters.
But you haven't got the fucking original Ghostbusters in the new one. It's all their grandkids and Paul Rudd, who just doesn't age.
Well, yeah, he's like 58 now. He still looks like 35.
Yeah, man's never going to look older than 35.
I do agree with the Bond film, though. Have you seen it? The Daniel Craig one.
Oh, I can't stand Bond films.
So
they bore the shit out of me.
The Daniel Craig ones, I think, are the best because they're the most realistic.
Really?
Today. Yeah. So the first one is mostly action, like fight scenes, and it's cool, and it's like, wow, look at this. And the casino scene is really good, where he gets poisoned.
Oh, I've seen that. That is good, actually. I like that bit. But as a rule, James Bond is not the one for me.
But the latest one, he is like a dithering old man in it.
Really?
And he keeps falling over and hurting himself. He's just useless. And he keeps getting rescued by this like 20-year-old girl in a dress and high heels, and she's like karate kicking people, and I was like,
so it's like a woke bullshit thing.
Yeah. And then
do you think that's because they was trying to gauge whether the audience were going to be cool with a girl being Bond?
Yeah, well, they actually replace him as Bond
With
in
her?
the film with this black girl from, what was she in? She was in the Doctor Strange film.
Yeah.
She played the Captain Marvel variant in that.
Oh, yeah, I really liked her.
I think it's her anyway. I'm pretty sure it's her.
I really liked her.
So
Doctor Strange I loved as well.
She's the new 007, and he's just like a dithering old man in it.
That's ridiculous.
He ends up killing himself at the end.
Good. I'm sorry,
I was just like,
James was the one who stay around for that.
I watched it. Thank God I didn't go to the cinema to watch it, but I watched it for free online.
Okay, my worst film that I've ever seen in the whole of my life was Apocalypto. And I hope my ex is watching this because he forced me to watch it. And I was like, I don't want to watch it because it's about Indigenous people being murdered.
Yeah.
And I can't because it makes me feel anxious, like really anxious, because I know it really happened. And I know there's all these kids are going to get killed. It's like, oh, have you ever seen the film Schindler's List? I have watched Schindler's List. It was horrific. It's not something that you go back and watch again.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy those kind of movies. So when I say, is a film bad? I think the worst B movie, Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, awful film, loved it. But to me, a bad movie is a movie that doesn't bring me joy, and those kind of films don't.
Like Basket Case, have you seen that?
Oh my God, it's so bad, it's good.
I have the trilogy.
Have you seen the Hooker Frankenstein one? Do you want a day? Want a day?
No,
Want a day?
I've got.
It's really good.
I've got the Basket Case trilogy.
And you like it?
It's fucking brilliant. It's just so mental, but it just makes it good.
Want a day? Yeah. You've got to watch it. It's so bad. You'll love it.
Critters.
I love Critters.
It's like Gremlins, but Gremlins only got 2 films. Critters got 4.
Yeah. And if you say, oh God, what was the other one? And it's like it goes into you. They're like slugs that go in you and then you become a zombie.
Oh, like Slither.
It's like, was it Slither? I don't even think in the 80s.
The one, no, it wasn't the 80s.
It was in the 80s. Oh God, what was it called? And all the kids at the disco were all wicked. Okay, the Cub Scouts Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse. How did you feel about that?
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Got to watch this film. I mean, obviously, because I like younger boys, it worked for me because there's Cub Scouts in it. But there's also a very sexy cocktail waitress. Because they go, are you a stripper? And she goes, I'm a cocktail waitress. I was going to wear a badge with that on for Halloween, but I thought no one would get it. But there is a stripper in it, a zombie stripper.
Yeah.
And it's very good. Have you ever seen werewolves versus... strippers versus werewolves?
I've seen Cockneys versus zombies.
Yeah, but there's also strippers versus werewolves.
I haven't seen that. I've heard of it.
Awful. But brilliant. So I thoroughly recommend that.
Well, some of those films that are like really low budget and there's like the stop motion in it is really weird.
So shit.
But it makes it fun to watch.
It's so much better.
Especially if you're watching it with someone else.
Yeah.
Because you can like laugh and
it's just funny. There's a really, really bad film called The Stuff.
Yes.
And that's awful. But if you are partaking of the devil's lettuce, you will find it hilarious. So thoroughly recommend that.
I was going to say, if you're drunk, those sort of films are perfect.
Because don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah.
And don't drink either.
No drinking. It's very bad. But yeah, so
we can't even do that properly because you've got
plastic. I've got a plastic cup, something from the 80s. So how did you feel then about your worst ever character cast in a Marvel? Who would you say was the worst one?
That's a tricky one.
How do you feel about Tony being cast as Doctor.
That doesn't make sense to me because he was Iron Man, but Chris Evans was Johnny Storm and Captain America, and he managed to pull it off.
Yeah.
But worst casting, I'd say, it's a tricky one because Iron Man 3,
Yeah.
the Mandarin, Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin.
Oh, really?
Was good.
Yeah.
But
I thought you were going to say it was bad. Was that really?
No, then they flipped it, and it wasn't him that was the Mandarin. He was like his double.
Yeah.
And then it was the other guy.
Yeah.
That was shit.
You didn't like that?
Because the comic Mandarin looked like Ben Kingsley. He was perfect for that character. That was
so
really
annoyed
bad.
that you haven't watched all the boys because there's so much stuff because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
That I want to talk to you about the comic book and go, well, how can that be and how can this be? And
when I finish the season, we'll do one of these again.
We definitely need to. Yeah. We'll do like a roundup. But you've got to watch Generation V as well.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's really clever. And there's this character, she can either be really big or really small. And I'm not spoiling the show for you when I tell you that it's so twisted that this guy asks her to go back to the room and he makes her be really small and run up and down his dick.
What, on it? Or like
on his dick while she's little, like running up and down it and holding on to the end of it.
How little is she?
She's this big.
I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if that would do anything for me. I think
because men are so fucking obsessed with having a big dick.
Well,
he probably wanted her to be little so he could think, oh, my dick's ginormous.
I might not even feel that.
I don't with men and women.
I can, might take it some abuse.
What is that?
So I probably wouldn't even feel that.
Well, no, but apparently he
if you were super sensitive.
So sad.
Yeah, it is a bit weird.
She had to do that. And then she makes herself sick and she gets little when she makes herself sick, when she gets big.
Oh.
It's really good.
I thought when you said run up and down it, my mind went to...
Maybe she had heels on.
She went like really small and got inside and ran up and down the tube.
No, I think she's like that big and she's just running. Oh, but the one does go... There is one of those. You'll see that. Goes in.
Oh.
Yeah. And then
look forward to that then.
Something terrible happens. It's so good. Because I love the fact that the boys, it's shock. And you don't get much shock TV.
Yeah.
You do in films, obviously, but I can literally, I watch the boys and be like...
So, like, in terms of shock stuff, what moments on film...
Yeah.
Were the most... You know, when you sort of like... in the cinema.
I can't believe it. Twilight.
Really?
The last ever Twilight. When you think... Because I am a nerd and I've read all the Twilight books, and obviously I love
you do
them.
look very nerd-like.
I'm very nerd-like. I'm in disguise. I've read all the Twilight books and I loved all the Twilights and I thought they were great. And I'd read them to my kids. Most people read Harry Potter, but I've read like Twilight to the kids. And then I went to the cinema, but I didn't want to know what happened at the end. So I was like, well, wait. And then you're watching it and you think that your favourite people are all dead.
Yeah.
And then they're not. So it was like, it made me full of so much joy. I felt like it was Christmas. And I knew I could now finish my books. But no, it was just beautiful. Because that made me really happy.
Yeah.
Shock part. Or what else? When you find out Max is the head vampire in Lost Boys. That was good. That was really good.
Yeah.
Because I thought it was Grandpa all the way through it. I was like, you're going to find out Grandpa's a vampire.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like the geeky well, not geeky, but he was like normal.
Part, and he was like a little hippie, and I thought, you're going to find out that's the head vampire. It's going to be Grandpa.
I quite liked Fright Night, the original Fright Night.
Have you watched the second one when his sister comes back?
No.
She's really hot. You'll like that.
And
there's a werewolf in it that you'll really like.
I saw the Colin Farrell remake.
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. That bit in the disco when she pulls his top down and licks his chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, that stayed with me. That
I think the bit where in the original where can't remember his character's name now. The main lad in it, his girlfriend, who's a bit of a geek.
Yeah.
She's got short hair. She gets bit,
and then
becomes really hot. I was like, oh my god, she was banging in that. And then when she turned around and she had the big face, I was like, nope.
No, she's really hot. She was in. Did you ever watch Al Bundy in? God, was it called Love and? No, the song was called Love and Marriage. It's Jay from Modern Family. What was it? And Gemma's in it from Sons of Anarchy.
I think I know what you mean, but I can't. So long.
And Christina Applegate's in it, and she's really young and hot as well. It's really 80s as well. It's so fucking 80s.
What do you think about in terms, like, obviously we touched on remakes and stuff a few times, but when they go to remake things, like, I've heard rumours, and I really hope they're not true, that they're working on remaking Friends.
Oh no,
and
that would not do.
They're going to do it modern, and there's going to be like one transgender character, one black character, and I'm like, don't call it Friends, call it something else.
Call it whatever it is. That's not going to be right, because I mean, originally they were going to say that Chandler was gay, and then they decided not to make Chandler gay. If Chandler had been gay, you wouldn't have got Monica and Chandler, and you had to have Monica and Chandler at the end.
Yeah.
You know, I never got Ross and Rachel because I thought that Ross was a complete bellend.
Oh, he's a dork.
Why, man?
How the... I always used to go off on this. Like, how the fuck did he pull Rachel?
I don't know, because Joey should have been with Rachel.
Yes.
Joey should have been with Rachel. They'd have had hot kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Ross could have maybe got with Phoebe because they're both a little bit autistic. Because they're both weird.
But you know, Paul Rudd said that the cast of Friends were the most unfriendly people that he's ever worked with in the whole of his life.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, he did an interview, and he said at the end of it, you know that bit where he goes, "Who'd have thought it, guys? Hey, we got ya." And he'd said it in the last episode, and they all just looked at him.
Yeah.
He was being funny, so I get that.
I like Paul Rudd.
I like Paul.
And he is kind of in the new Deadpool film.
Is he? As Ant-Man? I hated Ant-Man though. I'm sorry, I really
hated him. He's in it, but he's not. His face is not in it.
Oh.
That's all I'll say. But they do reference him, and it is him in costume.
Well, I didn't like Ant-Man. It wasn't... It didn't work for me. I didn't like it.
The character, it's one of them. I think it's where they took a sort of... Yeah, they took a boring character, and they cast a good actor, and they made it fun. And the CG in it was quite fun, where he shrinks down, he's running around with the ants. So that was quite good. But the villain was so crap.
So shit.
He was like generic asshole businessman. Yeah. With a slightly different suit to the hero. Yeah. And his motivations were like, what even are your motivations?
I don't know why. Yeah, it just wasn't.
He's just like a bad guy, generic bad guy.
It wasn't good for me. I didn't like Ant-Man at all. That was not my vibe. But all the four, because like I said, a film will come out, something cool will come out, I'll read a little bit of it, I'll look at the book. Because like Alien, if you've ever read Alien, was originally, Sigourney Weaver was a man. And when they did the film, they thought, we'll make it a woman, then we'll get chicks to go and see this sci-fi movie, and we might get more people to come, and it worked. And I'm really glad, because I think that Sigourney Weaver in Alien is flawless. Yeah. So I do like to read the book, but if I know there's going to be 3 of them, I'll only read the first 2. And like, have you seen that awful? It's basically soft porn on Netflix. It's called 365. No. It's what right? If make sure your mum's not in. Okay, so the guys that I date, tell your mum to go out, and then put it on. And it's porn. During lockdown, my friend went, put this film on. It's great, and I thought, okay. Disgusting. It's absolute filth. I like to I read the first 2 and there's 4.
I like to keep I always reference this when I'm watching a film, and there's what I call a porn scene. Yeah. I'm like, I want to keep my porn and movies separate. If I want to watch people fucking,
but then you wouldn't have had 50 Shades of Grey, and women needed 50 Shades of Grey.
I get that one, but I mean like a 5-minute long,
sexy,
really intense, unnecessarily graphic sex scene in the middle of a film that doesn't warrant that.
Like Crank.
That
I quite like
that was
watching
quite
Jason
funny.
Statham
That was
fuck
funny.
though.
That was like a comedy scene.
That works for me.
But I mean, like, have you seen The Punisher, the series with John Bernthal?
You know what? I haven't.
Well, in that, the main character, obviously, his wife's dead, and he's.
Is that the tall blonde guy, or is it the dark guy out of The Walking Dead?
It's the guy with the shaved head and the flat nose out of Walking Dead.
Glenn, yeah. I've seen a little bit where he's knocking down a wall.
I know what he looks like in Walking Dead.
No, I mean in The Punisher, I think there's sandwiches in a box or something. Yeah.
And he's smashing the wall, yeah. So his character is never going to be put in a romantic situation because it just doesn't fit.
Yeah, because his wife's dead in his morning.
But the villain has a sex scene every other episode with this FBI chick. And it's so graphic and unnecessary. So they could have alluded to it.
Yeah.
But they have to show the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's just so cringy to watch. I was just like, I'm watching. I want to see people getting shot.
I don't want to watch. If I want to watch someone, I'm going to put Pornhub on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes in films, it fits. Like even the original Roadhouse, a bit where he hooks up with the doctor in his barn.
Yeah.
They show a little bit.
And she's lucky he carries her across the room.
Yeah.
It's never going to work like that, man. Don't try.
It's just like...
It's good in the films. In real life, it's not practical.
Yeah, up against that stony wall.
Yeah, that you're going to definitely get a few lesions there. Yeah. So concrete burn is real. It's worse than carpet burn, believe me.
If you're going to do that, don't go up against the wall.
No walls, no concrete.
In the middle of the room.
No stairs, no balconies in Spain. No.
But actually, that just made me think of something funny then. But I'm not talking about it on here because there might be someone that knows me watching.
We have to do like an after dark one where we can talk about naughty stuff.
Well, we
keep talking about naughty stuff, and I think we need to circle back to the films. Otherwise, it's just going to be a talk about.
I think an X-rated whiskey hour.
We're doing an X-rated one at midnight when we come back from the bar drunk.
Yeah, like with a paywall, so you have to pay to watch.
A pay-per-view.
And then I'll talk about anything. Yeah. Then I can tell people really want
really, really bad. Tell me what happened, because you can't tell on here what actually goes on. I mean, the whole filming of the rock thing, it was incredible. I could never tell a story about it. I think I saw an what are they called? I want to say NWA, but that's a rap band, isn't it?
Yeah.
An NDA. A non-disclosure.
Yeah, non-disclosure.
If you come and see them perform, you will probably need to sign one as well. So, just letting you know. But no, we should do an after dark one, a naughtier one, an adult version.
Yeah.
Yeah, because kids go on YouTube.
Yeah, I would hope they don't go on my channel or anyone who's easily offended.
I hope they don't go on my channel of Pornhub. Oh no, my best friend's got a hot mum. Anyway, but yeah, so back to films. Have we got any more questions? Anyone else asked anything again?
So we're still just on the Ghostbusters remake.
I thought Ghostbusters was good and you're wrong. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. You're very wrong. I haven't seen the newest one with the kids.
The Paul Rudd one. No.
I watched the first Paul Rudd one.
I think I saw the trailer.
The mum pissed me off. She wasn't hot enough.
Which one?
She had this Sigourney Weaver dress on at the end and it annoyed me. Because I was like, no.
I think she was pretty hot in that as well.
Really? No,
you know when she gets possessed by the Zor?
You really like women that are...
a bit mental, yeah.
Yeah, it's
a bit, yeah. It's definitely... it's weird though, because some women are like that, but they've got like an alter ego that they portray at work. Like school teachers.
Yeah.
And there might be a school teacher.
Yeah.
But then when you get them outside of school, they're just a porn star.
Yeah. Whereas I look like this, and then when I go home, I just put pajamas on and go to bed. Yeah. So it's really dull.
You just do algebra and crosswords and
Sudoku.
Yeah. Hang out in libraries.
Yeah. Libraries are cool. Libraries can be very cool. Have you heard of Small Hands?
No.
He's an adult actor. He's one of my Aaron. His real name is. He's a DJ as well. and he writes music. I don't know. Every time I watch one of his films, I'm like, are his hands small? If they are, it's the only thing that is small on him. But Aaron's very alternative, and he does films with God. He's got all numbers and question marks all over him. He's a very
the Riddler.
That's what his tattoo's like. It's kind of like the Riddler. And they buddy up with each other. But there's a film with Aaron in a library. So libraries can be fun too.
Yeah.
And he's a very good actor. Like, people think that because you do adult movies that you just do that. But Aaron is actually a very good actor, as is his wife.
Well, there's a good fight scene in a library in, I think it's John Wick 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Where he's fighting the big, huge guy in the library and he kills him with a book.
Yeah.
I was like, I like fight scenes in places you don't expect fight scenes to happen.
Then you should watch, there's a TV series called, I think it's We Are All Dead, and it's Korean zombies. And there's a fight scene in, they're running across the top of the bookcases and the zombies are underneath them.
Yeah.
And it's horrific. You're like, there's something next level about Korean zombie films and TV shows. They just write it so much better.
I've seen Train to Busan, is it?
Really good.
I liked that. Yeah.
Really, really good. The film, I'm sure the film's called We Are All Dead or I Am Alive, can't remember. But the guy's in a high rise and there's a girl in the high rise facing him and he's trying to figure out how to get to her. And he wants his phone to be alive so he can talk to his mum and dad. Horrendous. Anxiety.
I think I might have seen something, like a scene from that. Sounds very familiar.
So, anything Korean, anything Oriental zombie-wise, you will shit your pants. So I recommend them.
There's two. I've got two thoughts stuck in my head at the minute. One is about practical effects, and it was a film that I loved as a kid. It was an 80s film, and it was just all practical effects, and they kept making them, and then they just started remaking them again recently, and they're CG now. And
what film was it?
Tremors.
Oh, the things that come under the floor?
The grabbers under the floor.
Kevin Bacon's in it, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Michael Goss is in it.
When you mention critters, it always makes me think of Tremors.
Well, Tremors was like, the first 4 were mostly practical effects.
Yeah.
And then they use a little bit in the second one, with the ones that run on the ground. But it was mostly practical, and then they've remade, I think they've made 2 more, 3 more in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
And Michael Goss is still in it.
Really?
He's still playing Bert. And he still has his tash and his cap and his guns. But the Tremors have changed how they look.
And now they look
CGI.
real, and I don't like that.
I don't like how they look now.
So that was one of the best things about Beetlejuice, was I liked the animation.
Oh, yeah.
You know, when it was like the worm, the
stop
sandworm.
Yeah.
And then it was the sculptures came to life and they were stop motion.
Yeah.
I loved it.
And the way when they stretch all the faces out. Yeah.
It was more, it felt real. It was like, it's Halloween. That's what Halloween feels like to me. But there's actually a horror bar that's opening in Birmingham City Centre. And I do have a very good job in the day that's very normal.
Yeah.
Which is shocking. And I'm considering applying for the job as the host at this horror bar. And my friends keep going, you can't do that, you can't do that. I think about the money. And I'm like, yeah, but I'd really love what I do every day if I could work in a horror bar.
Yeah, go for it.
I'm thinking about it. But I think they'll probably want to hire some 20-year-old. So I probably
get away with that.
Don't. We went to Nottingham. We went to, because Nottingham is awesome for rock nights. If you go to Nottingham, if you want a good night out, go Nottingham. It's great. And we went to a rock bar. And when we were queuing up, I realised everyone was the girls you date. They were all 18. And
no, I don't date anymore.
He does that. And so I went to the doorman. Excuse me, can you recommend somewhere for me and her to go? And he went, well, the local strip club's around the corner. I went, you cheeky cunt, clearly I'm not working tonight. And he went, boy, I went, because we're all 20, I don't want to come in here. There's no one my age. And he went, you can pull this one off. I thought, thanks, Dad. And just really, Really sweet, and we did pull it off. We had a great night. But no, I just can't. I think I'd really like to take that job and just dress weird every day.
Let's go for it.
It'd be Halloween. I may apply for it when I go in. I may. And make myself happy and have no money to live on, but who gives a shit? But it looks like it's going to be a great bar. It's called Merlin's in Birmingham City Centre.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's horror, Stranger Things, goth, horror food, horror drinks. It looks really good. So if anyone from Merlin's is watching, give me a job.
I might
Are you
go.
getting asked questions, girl?
I know Coventry is full of horrors. I met my wife there.
Agreed. I'm sure your wife is a lovely person, Alan. Okay. And I would encourage her to beat you. So,
Yeah, well, I mean Coventry. I mean, not just Coventry. I mean, there's weirdos everywhere. But where did I go the other day?
My ex is from what's that area called? Borsal Common.
Oh God. Yeah.
Not going to say his name, but he's from Borsal Common, and he would go out in Coventry because it was close and it was cheap. And he reckons he racked up 1,000 women in his.
Bullshit.
I don't know because he's very good looking.
Unless but I mean, even
and the patter was flawless, and he tricked me. I know you're looking at me thinking it can't be that hard to trick me, but really it is, because honestly, I'm like, stay back, motherfucker. But yeah, and I can believe it because he's an absolute slag, absolute king of the slags.
Yeah, but I mean, what's better? Like I used to work with a guy who was like a proper pretty boy. Like he had the long hair.
Yeah.
And he looked like a sort of generic pretty boy from a movie.
Ooh.
But he was really short.
I'm 5'2". It all works for me.
And he was like, I always seen him with different girls, and I worked with him for like 5 years.
Yeah.
And I thought he was gay when I first met him. He was quite,
because he's so pretty.
Yeah. And he was quite campy as well, and how he dressed and stuff. I was
like, you get?
Yeah, and he was like, no. And then I found out, I was like, well, obviously not.
He's a top shagger.
But then I was like, because he said his body count was like in the hundreds.
And you thought,
that's a lot. We were both like early 20s. And I was like, it can't be. But then I was just like, I saw some of the girls that he was bringing in, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe it is then. Because
he's just like, it's all about volume.
Yeah, I was like, well, what's better, like
Quantity over quality.
150 like fives or 30 tens?
I think it depends. I mean, I've dated a guy who's in a band, and he literally fucked like 4 or 5 different girls a day. He was in a very popular band. And I can't.
Yeah, well, when you're in a band, that's easy. I used to be in a band.
I can't say who, but yeah.
In case his wife finds out.
In case the police find out, I'm still at school.
Oh, okay.
But he, it was consensual because I was legally. Well, I was 16. I was still at school, but he was in a band. He was in a very popular rock band. And I hooked up with him for quite a few years. I don't know. But he had such a body count, it was ridiculous. How he never had like caught a disease and died or something is beyond me. Because the calibre of woman that he
must have a very good doctor.
Or maybe his dick's made of penicillin.
Yeah.
You can tell. But I would always
just got a cabinet at home full of everything.
But because of my age, he was very scared, so he would always be really careful with me, which was great. He'd actually set me on because I'm I'm a safety girl, and he would be meticulous with it with me, but he'd be like, no other girls there, but like pigs.
Yeah.
And he'd talk about how ugly, like they'd go out and find the ugliest girl in the room and then sleep with them. Like it was like a sport.
I used to know a guy like that. He was we were like 17. He was into fat girls, really into them.
Not all ugly girls are fat. Can I just put that out there? There's like skinny ugly girls too.
Yeah, I mean, there's some like, I wouldn't say fat, but I mean, there's some chubby girls that are really nice looking.
Oh fuck yeah! I said earlier on, I'm a very larger, much I think she was looking at 18. And phenomenal. When I took her clothes off, I was like, you just look like a cartoon character of like, when a boy would draw what a new girl would look like.
Yeah.
She was like that. And good God, the confidence on her. It was much better than sleeping with a guy with an 8-pack.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was amazing.
But this lad, I won't say his name, he's probably dead now. He's an alcoholic when we were 14. He would literally go for, if there was no fat girls in, he'd be miserable all night if we were out in a club. And then this one girl came in, and have you seen, remember when Eddie Murphy was making the Professor
that was
movies?
the second film beside The Fog that we had, Norbit. Yeah.
So she looked like Norbit, this girl.
Like Norbert's wife?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, yeah. So massive. And he's like 5'3".
And he was loving it.
He's going bald, even though we're only 17. And he's got a beard. He looked about 40. And he made a beeline for her. And then the next day, anyone who knows me will know exactly who I'm talking about if I mention this story. I'll tell everyone. But we went to knock on his door the next morning, and all we could hear was his dad laughing. And he come to the door, and he was in tears, and he was like, "Oh, mate, you should have seen what come out of his room this morning."
Oh, you're so
fucking
mean.
hell. And then he come out of the house with his head down. He was like, "Yeah, Dad, shut up." Yeah.
The thing is, though, he might genuinely find bigger women gorgeous, or it might be he's got such low self-esteem.
I think it's just like a bit of a fetish.
Fetish. Yeah.
Because I've known some people that they'll go for anyone just to get someone.
Yeah.
And then I've known some people that'll be like, they'll ignore a hot girl to go for something else.
Yeah.
And that's like, yeah, that's a fetish there.
Oh, they want to reject the hot girl and go for the girl because they like rejecting the girl and damaging her ego more than that's what fulfills.
No, I think it's like they get off on like the loads of stuff to grab being squashed.
Yeah. Little we used to say,
like you see his hands and his feet flapping underneath.
I've been there.
Like, in Jackass when they got Wee Man on the bed and they got the big sumo woman to jump on him, and you can just see his feet kicking like that underneath.
I was so sad when Ryan died. Ryan, my daughter's dad actually is like the double of Ryan. And when he died, I went to Phoebe, "Oh no, your dad's dead." And she freaked out and went, No, I meant Ryan. Ryan's dead.
It's just a prank.
It's not your dad.
Stop crying.
But whenever Ryan comes up on the internet, I always show her and go, "Look, it's Daddy." And she goes, "Oh, he does look like Daddy." It's so sad. That made me just devastate me. And bam, what a fucking mess.
Have you seen the state of him now?
I was at a friend's house and he had me watching a podcast with Bam. And it was hours of drivel, and I just felt so sorry for him.
He keeps going on about fighting Johnny Knoxville, and I'm like, "You're not a fighter, you're a skateboarder."
Did you see him fighting the hobo?
No.
He had a fight, put some poor hobo, and they were filming him.
I might look that up.
It was so sad.
He was going to bare knuckle boxing, the BKFC.
Yeah.
And they were interviewing him because obviously they're like, "Oh, it's Bam from Jackass." And he was trying to get Johnny Knoxville to fight him, and he was like, "In glove boxing or bare knuckle, whatever it is, I'm going to knock him out." And I thought I would get that if he was a retired fighter.
But he's not.
But he's a retired skateboarder.
Yeah.
And I'm not being funny, but judging by how they both look, if Bam got in the ring, he would have a heart attack. I
don't think Johnny would fight him because Johnny's inherently, he looks like a good guy. Besides fucking Jessica Simpson, good for you, who wouldn't? But he could whip, because in 10 seconds your cardio is gonna.
I mean, if they were to just jump in and fight, I'd bet my money on Johnny Knoxville because he's healthier, he's slimmer, he's probably fitter.
I don't understand as well. Like, he keeps saying that he's clean. He's met this new girl. She rescues dogs on the road together, and that's all they're doing. It's so good. And when he speaks, if you've ever been in the company of someone who does crack, he speaks like a crackhead. Blah, 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 blah. He's like, blah, 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 blah. Oh, I know we're talking about, but it's just very clear he's not clean, and it's so sad. Bless him.
Yeah, we've got one. In history always repeats itself. In 50 years' time, women will want men to be manly, and men will want women to be good homemakers and mothers. I mean, I get that.
I want men to be manly now, and what I'd like to put out there is you can look like me and still be a homemaker. So I cook, I clean, I can also change the brakes on a car. I can
Well,
weld.
mine need doing if you
I can,
if you've
I can
got
weld.
free
I can
Sunday.
use a lathe. I'm a qualified engineer. But what woman doesn't want to be a homemaker? What woman doesn't want to know how to cook? What woman doesn't want to raise children if they choose to? What woman doesn't want to fulfill the feminine role? The reason that women are more masculine these days is because we don't get the opportunity to be feminine because we're having to do everything. I don't think the whole, we gave women the right to work. What the fuck? No one gave us the right to work. You gave us the right to do everything. Some women want to stay at home and be providers. Some women want to stay at home. Some women don't. They want to be providers. My point of view is I like men to be men. And I like looking after my man. I like babying my man. I like treating my man like he's a fucking god because I'm not going to be with a man unless I think he is God. I don't cheat, which might be shocking like this. But if I'm with you because you're number one and there is no one above you. I don't want my man to get his arse handed to him in a fight. I want my man to be a boxer. I want my man to be able to protect me, but I also want my man to provide for me, and I want my man to look after me, and I want my man to treat me like a fucking woman. I don't want to do everything, but you need to know how to cook, and I'd like you to put the beans out because that's not my job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like,
and we can both punch an intruder in the face.
I agree with what you're just saying there, but I do like. Yeah, I like it if a girl can fight a little bit.
Yeah.
So, like if a guy's hassling my girl, and I mean, obviously, I'd like the opportunity to fight him if I have to, because I can keep her safe. But if she were to punch that guy as well, I'd be like, I like that. Yeah, that's cool.
I had a friend. And we went to the supermarket together, and the security guard started bullying him. He's a very good-looking guy. I will give you you are a good-looking guy if you watch it. And the security guard, I think, was a bit jealous. And they're like that. And he put something down. He hadn't put it on the. He'd ate something, and he went to the manager. I've ate that, but I'm going to pay. And then the security guard started bullying him. And I don't know whether he thought I wasn't going to say anything because I was a girl. I went, what are you talking to him? Don't say that. So I actually went in on this security guard and basically told him to go and stand in the corner and stop speaking to me. Anyway, I don't know what your relationship is with him. I went, it's none of your fucking business what my relationship is with him, but don't talk to him like that again. Go and fuck off over there and stand by the door because that's your job. Yeah. And when we came out, this guy was like, I thought you were going to beat him up there. That was quite sexy, that was. I've never seen a woman going like that before. But I feel very protective and maternal.
Yeah.
It's the breast. And when I go out, and I will throw a fucking punch and I will kick a toilet door in someone's face if the occasion needs it.
Well, I think men now, I think that's probably one of the reasons why I don't like dating younger girls.
Because they're not fighting.
No, I think it's just like they've sort of been manipulated into something that's not what I'd consider womanly or feminine anymore.
Being submissive.
It
is feminine, isn't it? They're meant to be like, oh, help me.
Yeah, but you can do that. Like, I like girls that are like strong women, but they can be let you throw them around in the bedroom a little bit, so they can do both.
Mm.
But also, I think a lot of men now, especially young men, well, mostly young men,
like being pegged.
Yeah, and they're not manly
and
anymore.
Stop eating ass. Okay, I'm going to put this out on the internet right now. Who comes out of there and go down as much as you like to suck a dick, But do not eat ass. I mean, Jesus, what the fuck is wrong with your generation, man?
So, I don't
Everyone
know.
wants to
It's
get
not me,
bummed
it's
and
people
eat.
younger than
They're
me.
obsessed with bum holes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just anal in my day.
Yeah.
If you did anal, you were quirky and like, oh my god, you go from the fucker in the ass. That's great. Now you want to literally eat a Big Mac out of a girl's asshole, and then don't. No, stop it. It's not cool.
Yeah.
And pegging. I don't want a bum boyfriend.
I don't get that. I know lads that I've worked with that they'll brag about
that they got pegged.
And I'm like, what
I
are
know
you
it's like
bragging
a badge
about?
of fucking
You
fun,
fucking
innit?
weirdo.
No.
And I've had girls ask me
if they could bum you.
And I'm like, if you think you can beat me in a fight, because if you try that, I'm throwing haymakers.
No, but each to their own. If that's what you're into, good for you. But I also, straight men are not the cleanest back there.
Yeah.
Gay men.
I mean, they probably have to be, right?
Yeah. If I was with a gay, if I was a gay man, like, yeah, man, let's dig in. But straight men, you can barely keep your underwear clean. So no, that's not the vibe. Not for me. It's not for me. And girls just do it because we don't make you look like a dickhead. Girls don't do it. But
you're not getting anything out of it.
I'm putting it out there, sisters. You know why you're doing it. It's revenge. You're bumming them because they did something to you, and you're like, fucking have that, Callum. You look a dickhead now, don't you? But your lads would think you were proper fucking hard with the gazoo now.
That's what you get for not taking the bins out.
No, you should have put the fucking bins out, Callum. No.
But even like, obviously, there's that stuff. I don't think that's manly. I don't care how macho you are.
How manly can a man be with his legs spread and a dildo in his ass?
If he spent, I have to stretch for my back because I deadlift a lot, lift a lot of weight.
Okay, do you?
And that back stretch, you know, you go like this.
When it
that makes me feel uncomfortable.
Gay as fuck. Yeah.
So I have to do that.
When I see a guy in the gym and they're stretching out like that, I'm like, yes, sister.
I look around and then I'm like, right, okay, I can stretch my back off and then I'm checking, like, yeah.
In case someone slips a finger in.
Well, it's not even that. It's just I feel vulnerable, so I'm like, I don't even want someone looking at me.
No. Okay, right. This is probably too much for the internet, but
nothing.
I have a girlfriend who has got a thing about her boyfriend doing that back stretching thing.
Yeah.
And then she does fellatio from the back, but she pulls it like it's like a tail. And I was
How does that work?
She pulls it back and she pulls it back.
It must be
and
very
does it
flexible.
From behind. He's a flexible motherfucker. I'm not going to say what he does for a living, but she told me, and I was like, "That's gay as fuck, that is." And she's like, "No, it's not." And I went, I don't understand, but what? And I went, do you tongue his bum hole? These are the conversations that
well, that's the thing. It's one of those things where it's in that grey area, or like it's with a female, but it's still
would you
a bit
think
gay.
if a girl did that to you, would you think, no, I'm not doing that? That's
like,
a bridge too far.
Yeah, I'd be no. I'd rather I'd fine with sitting there.
Yeah.
But if I'm in a position of what I'd consider vulnerable. Like vulnerability, I wouldn't even be able to get hard. But
this couple are the most normal couple that I hang around with. Like they are the most. We walk into a bar together, and you know, people are like, "What the fuck are they hanging out with each other for?" And their sex life is wild, man.
What's this? We got. What about male fighters in the women's sport? I think it's dangerous. Ruin the Olympics for some women. That's true.
If they're doing mixed. No. If you choose to do mixed because you're equally talented, yes. That girl, and she is a girl, she was not born male. She just has more testosterone than the normal female. She's not a man. She was never born a man. She will never be a man. She just has more testosterone than than a born female would normally have. So you cannot say that it was mixed. It wasn't. You're just jumping on the whole trans debate. You're not actually looking at science. You've been a dickhead. No one says because an athlete is genetically faster than someone else that they should maybe cut their foot off so they're slower than everyone else. It's just God gave her an elevated edge, and you're all now being mean about her because, she does look like a masculine female.
So
I like mass females, so fuck
what do you think of? Have you heard of Fallon Fox?
No.
So Fallon Fox was.
If you're trans and you want to fight someone who is the sex that you now are, no, you're twang. You're not allowed because you're a man.
Yeah.
Though you were a man, so genetically you can have all of your stuff done, and mentally you can say you are a woman, and you can be a woman. And I believe that you think that you are a woman, and I support you in that, and I hope that you're happy. But I don't think that you should compete in that sport because you have an unfair advantage there. That's not like God just gave you a bit more testosterone. God gave you a dick. So no, you don't get to fight a woman because that's not fair.
So Fallon Fox, for you, if you've not heard of them, and anyone else watching who's not heard of this person, was an MMA fighter, male MMA fighter, with a pretty mediocre record of about 50-50, like the same amount of losses and wins. And then decided he wanted to be a woman, and then decided to compete against women, and then proceeded to batter everyone.
Because you're a fucking man.
I think stuff like that. I mean, I'm not a woman, so, and it pisses me off. If I was a woman and I was fighting, because I used to fight.
I'm not going to fight you. I do what the women should do at that point is all say, I'm not fighting you.
It's like someone saying to me, right, we're going to drug test you. You have to be natural, but your opponent is allowed to take steroids. The most ridiculous levels of steroids. I'll be like, no, fuck that. That ain't fair.
So it's not when you fight, you have bantamweight, you have heavyweight, you have lightweight, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're not going to put Mike Tyson in the ring with
like Manny Pacquiao or someone half his size.
It's not going to happen. So no, I don't think it's right. It's like swimming. Why have we got a man in a pool with women? Like, no, it's not fair.
It's not even so much that. It's like a lot of it is like they're being put in the changing rooms, and the females are not comfortable with it.
Well, that's fine. And if that's the case, then they need a trans changing room for the trans person to go and train. I work with the Mermaid organisation, which is for trans kids, and it's a really essential service for children that are questioning their gender. I have my own thoughts and feelings on trans rights and hormone blockers and all of that, and they are mine and mine alone. The fact that I support these kids because I don't care who you love or who you pray to or what you think your body is, anything at all, everyone deserves to be loved and everyone has the right to be what they want to be. But as a woman, I don't want my daughter in a changing room with someone who would make her feel uncomfortable. I wouldn't want her going into a changing room because my friend's daughter had short hair and people think that she's a boy.
Yeah.
When she's gone into, and I, have heard this whole thing of girls have gone, what are you doing here? You're a man. And she had to say, I'm actually a girl. I've just got short hair. And that's so embarrassing for the person.
If you don't believe me.
Yeah, do you want to have a little look? But there should be trans changing rooms, and that's where, because that's not your right to believe what you are is your right, but you don't get to do that on everyone else. Like my grandmother, God love her, she's passed away now. She was very into gay rights, and she used to have gay friends, and I thought that was so progressive. And she would talk to me about how her friends had a lavender marriage, and how wonderful it was going for breakfast with them, and how she loved homosexuals and dancing on both sides of the ballroom, darling. She used to call it. I
love that word, homosexual.
It was beautiful, homosexual. But my other grandmother was a racist homophobe who would talk such hatred at the dinner table.
It was the gays.
It's the gays. And then she would call the P word and whatever. And we'd sit there and eat our food. But I was raised by my mother not to say anything because that's her right. And if she wants to think that, just ignore her because she's old and she doesn't understand. She's never going to be your Nanny Nelly. And she was right. And so this is how I feel about the world. But I don't think, because I think everyone has the right to be loved, that women should have to have their personal safety put at risk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's people that will make the argument of the men have been given hormones or whatever, so it brings it down.
It doesn't, though, because your bones are your bones.
Yeah. Well, I've got a friend who's she's a kickboxer,
Mm.
and she at one point, me and her weighed exactly the same.
Yeah.
We were both 80 kilograms. I'm closer to 90 now, and she's a bit lower than 80. But when we were both in the off season, so when we weren't fighting, we weighed the same.
Yeah.
And she said to me, "Oh well, the guys that I train with, I'll beat them up. I think I can beat you." And it was the first time. It was before we'd ever sparred.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I don't think you realise like the difference
Yeah.
in power that the male physique can generate in explosive power
Yeah.
and the aggression and everything like that." So we sparred, and I said, "Well, I won't hit you in the face because obviously I don't want to like damage your teeth or your nose or anything like that, and we don't want to fall out. So you can hit me in the face, that's fine.
But I'll only
don't
do
really
body
care.
shots.
I'll go for body shots." And the first hard body shot I landed was probably like 60-70% power tops.
Mm.
And because it was timed well, it dropped her and she almost cried.
Oh.
And she was landing big heavy shots on me, and I was like, "That we weighed the same.
Yeah.
I'm not a better fighter than you. We're probably similar level, but that's just the fact that I've got denser bones and denser muscle and stronger ligaments, and
it's not fair.
I've got
But don't get me wrong, I do
100
like
times more testosterone than she has.
I do like fake fighting with my boyfriend. I do like wrestling with my boyfriend.
Yeah, that's always fun.
And I do like when he annoys me trying to kill him. So this is like a hypothetical person as well. He doesn't exist at the moment. So I killed him. No.
He's in the attic.
He's in the attic moving around. But yeah, I like being aggressive. You know, like when I hate the whole you're a gentleman boyfriend. They just don't talk to them. I'd much rather claw your fucking eyes out when you walk in the house and start screaming at you. And then I like the makeup sex after.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wouldn't want to have an actual physical fight with my boyfriend because you're going to beat me.
Yeah.
Every time.
Play fight is fun. It's always fun.
Play fighting's great.
Yeah.
Play fighting halfway through sex is great.
Well, normally that's like what leads to that.
No, normally halfway through, I'll remember something you've done to piss me off and they try and kill you. So probably not the way. My ex said you are that mean where I never know if you're going to give me a lap dance or stab me.
It's the Black Widow thing.
It keeps the relationship alive. We found until they cheated on me, and then hardly anything could keep him alive.
It's like that. There's like a meme of, because obviously you know how Black Widow spiders, the male is like half the size of the female. He's mating with her, and then at some point she'll just bite him and kill him
and eat him.
And there's this like skit.
That's why I've got one tattooed on my foot.
Where there's a guy and him and his wife are going at it, but she's got a knife and she's holding it up the whole time, and every now and then he goes, ah! And then she's like, and then he goes, "Oh, okay, I'll carry on." And it's like, what if Black Widow spiders
were women?
Have
you seen the film? Oh God, what was
Teeth?
No teeth. That I used to say that to my manager, Jason, who was scared of me. I don't work for him anymore, so I can say that. We used to be in meetings and he'd be like that with me, and I'd go, "You're frightened of me. You think my vagina's got teeth, don't you?" And he went, "I do. I really do." I was like, "Thanks, Joe." I told him that his tea tasted like ass, and he went, "How do you know what that tastes like?" I went, "You've been married a long time, haven't you, Jason?" So, and he had. So,
I wouldn't know, but I'm sure I could guess. I do.
It's not for me.
I throw that term around a lot. This tastes like shit. How do you know what that
How
tastes
do you know? I also have the phrase "bite me" written on my ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you do bite me, I will probably kill you. So just to be aware. But it was my saying at work when I was a stripper. Whenever anyone annoyed me, I go, "Oh, bite me." So then we thought, let's just put it on our ass so people know.
Yeah. Have you actually got that then?
It's actually tattooed on my ass. Danny did it. I want it bigger.
Show everyone.
I can show them now.
Get us banned from
If
YouTube.
you subscribe to my OnlyFans, you'll be able to see it's on there. But no, I was actually fired from 16 different strip clubs. I'd like to think that might be a record.
For what?
various things. A lot of the times I wouldn't fuck the owner or the door staff.
Yeah.
Or a client would touch me, and that is not allowed. And the last place that I worked at, I'm not going to mention him because he's actually in jail now. He was a great boss. He fired me 3 times, so technically 13 clubs. He fired me because I choked a little old man out who put his hand like that between my legs and his thumb went in me. So when I turned around, I choked him out until the doorman came in and pulled me off him.
How did you get in trouble for that? That sounds like self-defense.
Because I had rendered one of the customers unconscious, and that was frowned upon.
Okay.
So
maybe need a better lawyer.
And I think I did actually, by doing this, hit a couple of the doormen as well, because I was like, get the fuck off. And
all the truth's coming out now.
Yeah, I kind of lost it.
So it was self-defense, but
it was self-defense.
Everyone else in the room
was trying to grab me off him. I was not happy about. I wanted to kill him, and I have kicked a little old man down an escalator.
Just for a laugh?
No, just for jokes.
Was he walking too slow?
No, because it got me. So I turned around, like literally goosed me. I had shorts on and a little t-shirt, and in my mind, I thought he thinks I'm a little girl. No, from what I was wearing, I was like, you think I'm a little girl? So when I turned around, the look of horror on his face as we were going up this escalator. And there was escalators going into, I think it was Boots in town, little ones, back in the day. And I turned around and kicked him down the escalator and then ran off because I thought he's probably dead now. I hope you are.
I mean, if he was old back then, he probably is.
Probably. So, no, I hope that the escalator full killed him. But yeah, I never got called for that. Hi, West Midlands Police. It was me all the time. So, yeah, violence is fun.
Sometimes, yeah. I mean,
but yeah, 16 clubs. That's quite an achievement. I think.
I don't think I've even worked at 16 clubs.
I have worked all around England, but my favourite line was when a doorman at a club basically made it very known that he was going to get me fired if I didn't hook up with him, and I told him that he had the IQ of salad, and I would have to really hate myself to fuck you, and I never did. But sadly, my babysitter did, so.
That happens a lot, though, doesn't it? It's like the whole...
The owners expect you to fuck them a lot.
They should. That's in The Boys as well, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, at the start, with Starlight.
Oh, and she has to suck... But I would suck off the deep in a heartbeat.
He's such a dork, though.
Yeah, but...
What about Black Noir? He's like a bit mysterious.
No, I couldn't... No, I couldn't go with Black Noir. No. I couldn't. I can't. It's like a gimp suit. They scare me. I don't like that.
What about... Well, to be honest, I mean, I think if I was going to pick a dude, if I was a female, it would be the Butcher. No, because I'm going to hate him if I say it. I've talked about an ex and he looks like the Butcher. Oh, okay.
And he's a fucking cunt. But
That's not my favourite.
I watched it with my daughter and she went, oh my God, that's a good looking version of me. And I went, oh fuck, you've ruined this for me now. But the Deep, he's a schoolboy in Gossip Girl.
Oh, I thought I recognised him.
Yeah, really hard.
Well, that's just reminded me because
I'd finger his gills and really hurt him.
Has he got gills?
He's got gills. When he takes his clothes off, he's got gills.
I don't think I've gone that far.
Yeah. So I'd get one back for Starlight and just finger him really hard.
I mean, he did go about that the wrong way. I mean...
He could have probably just fucked her.
He could have just been like...
I think he was really nice.
A bit flirty.
He's so pretty. Like, done all of that.
He's got no game. He's got like rapey wrists.
Yeah, but that's for why I like him, because I'd like to tie him up and really hurt him.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Just be warned, boys. Be rapey. I'll get you.
Yeah, some of them might like that.
They do. No, they don't actually. I think it's such a shame that a lot of guys like to think they like a dominating woman, but then you just scare the dick off them.
Well, I know a girl who's into that.
What, raping boys?
No. She likes beating.
We probably shouldn't talk about that online.
she likes, definitely getting.
This is trouble. Kieran, by the way. Kieran, say hi.
I don't think.
He's hiding in the kitchen. He's a great. Say hi, look. Kieran is awesome. This is my boss's boyfriend. Yeah, carry on.
But yeah, she likes beating guys up, and they like getting beat up by her.
Ooh.
I've seen a video of a guy.
Her beating guys up. She's doing women out of a job as well. Stop doing that for
free. Well, that's
free.
the thing. She showed me this guy who was like...
Was he a customer or was he free?
No, he was paying her.
Ooh.
But she was beating them up with boxing gloves on.
Yeah. I like it.
I would have done that for free.
No. Don't take jobs from the girls.
Because I said
pink
to her,
jobs for pink people, blue jobs for blue people.
Well, he paid her a couple of £100 for that.
Really?
And I said, tell him I'll do it for 50%.
And where does this person apply for this kind of work?
On a
Asking for a friend.
I think she was on Instagram and she had like 20,000 followers, and then she got banned because she was posting a lot of like saucy outfits and stuff.
Yeah.
And then she managed to work her way up to like a few thousand again, and then got banned again, and then I think she just gave up and was like, fuck Instagram.
Stop doing that, Instagram.
But I've seen stuff on Instagram that's like is actual porn.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is that on here?
It's Twitter for me.
And a girl with like fishnets on and like a little skimpy outfit gets banned.
It's Twitter for me. But I've had I know that someone that I used to hook up with has put something of me on Twitter with us together, because his snake of a friend messaged me and went, do you have Twitter? And I was like, yeah. And he went, oh, and then grasped his friend up because he was trying to behind his, he's a snake. So I hate my ex for doing that. But you know, you probably needed some likes or to pay rent because you're a loser. But the little snake thinking I'd go, oh God, I can't believe you did that. Yeah, you want to come round? You know, that just made me think I've got absolutely no, because that's your boy, man. You grasped your boy, you have no loyalty.
Definitely
no,
went to that as well.
Huh?
He definitely went to that as well before he told you.
And then was like, oh, actually, you look quite good at that. Do you want to come around and do that to me?
Yeah.
No, I don't. You look like a phone. So
yeah, it's she was like, I met this friend. I don't really speak much anymore, but I used to be friends with her. We met at the gym, and she used to bodybuild. She was a bodybuilder.
Muscle mum is a really big thing.
Well, that was like one of her handles on.
What, muscle mummy?
Yeah, some like muscle.
So I have a friend called Louise, fit coach, and she's on Instagram. She's got about 60,000 followers, and she's a muscle Barbie.
Yeah.
Chef's kiss of women. Like, if there was a straight woman that I could smash, it would be her.
Well, in terms of like old school, what would be considered now probably muscle mummies. You've got like Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, kind of.
No, Lou's a muscle mummy. Like, she makes men look fucking weak.
Wow. Do you remember Xena, the warrior princess?
Yeah, I wanted to do that for Halloween with my boss. I wanted her to be Xena and I was going to be Gabrielle.
Oh, she was hot back in the day. I was like 14 when I started watching that.
Lucy Lawless is hot. She's in Stan.
She's in Ash versus Evil Dead.
Yes, that's what I wanted. That's what it was, not Stan. There's another one called Stan, which is
Stan
like
versus
Ash.
Evil.
Yeah, she's in Ash versus.
We didn't even talk about Evil Dead. That's like one of the best horror films ever.
Do I like Evil Dead? No. I didn't like it. Did I like it? The new Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead Rise?
Yeah.
See,
Yes, I did.
The
I
people
didn't like
in that
it. I didn't like the original.
Too unlikable. They were too irritating.
The
one with the short hair that had the headphones on.
Yeah.
I was like, why are you going down that hole? That looks like you're gonna die.
Yeah, you're being stupid now. But because it was such a sweet guy. I was in bed with a guy, shockingly enough, and I put it on, and because he went, I can't watch mums die. And I went, oh, babe. And then I went, what do you want to do instead? This is a fully grown man, by the way. And he went, can we watch the Barbie movie instead? So we put Barbie on. And he couldn't watch it. But I do really like, he was so sweet.
Straight man. How old was he?
Man. He was in his 30s. He was in his
Well,
30s.
we don't claim that guy.
You should
How
though.
can you
'Cause
be in
he's
bed?
a lovely guy.
Yeah, but I get watching films in bed, but how can you be in bed with a hot girl?
He likes
Like,
horror
I want to
movies.
watch Barbie.
And then go, can we watch? Yeah, but right, I will say, I'm not going to give him away because he's such a lovely guy. The Ken song, he played it to me on his guitar. He learned it because he watched Barbie with me, and then he was like, I want to push you around. I was like, oh, you are so lovely. He's the sweetest kid. I hope you're really happy in whatever you're doing in your life. It's phenomenal.
And I hope your husband is saying
Don't, man, because like he could be, he might be gay. I don't know if you are.
He's definitely
Just say,
dressing up as Ken.
live your. Oh, I hope he does. That'd be so hard. I fucked him so hard as Ken. And so,
Pegged him real good.
Barbie. No, he definitely was not into pegging. He was definitely not into that. A lovely kid, very sweet. But yeah, we watched Barbie instead of Evil Dead. So yeah.
I'd much rather do it to Evil Dead.
Yeah, but I think it made me love him a little bit more, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But one of my most recent conquests, he can't watch horror movies either. They freak him out. So it's like, do you want to put a horror movie on? In kindergarten, apparently. Oh no, he's very, very young, but he couldn't watch horror movies. Doesn't like
picking them up at church?
Yeah. At the Christian thing. I'm walking, I'm like, I wear crosses, I'm one of you.
Well, there's one film that is probably one of my worst films, and I didn't watch it fully because I just couldn't bring myself to carry on. It's called The Entity.
I love The Entity. Do you know why they did that? You know when it looks like they've got fingers on her?
Yeah.
They were blowing air onto her.
Oh.
It's high pressure jets, so it looks like fingers.
Because the scenes when that weird stuff's going on.
And it's raping her. It's her stepdad's ghost, isn't it?
I don't know because I didn't watch the end, but I was like, how is this? It was a girl that put it on. And I was like, you've presumably put this on with like intentions towards me. And this is turning me off so much.
Because it's rape.
Yeah.
It's essentially
I don't like watching that.
Raping a woman again and again and again.
Yeah.
But a lot of
not what I'm into.
A lot of chicks are into that shit.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, not rape. I mean, like, ghost fucking them.
Yeah. Like
probably because so many men fucking ghost us these days. It's probably something to do with that. But yeah, The Entity was fine. I watched that when I was a kid. I'm going to blame my mum right now, right? So my mum got me to watch Driller Killer as a child, which is a banned horror movie. My uncle, Stuart, nicest guy in the world, is actually awesome. He got me to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre as a kid.
Yeah.
Now, these are adults that have asked me to watch and not to horrify me because they were too scared to watch them alone. So do you want to watch that with me? And then my mum went, oh, I've got this great movie to watch. Dad's working away. So do you want to stay up and watch it with me? And I went, go on then. And it was called A Stranger Calls. And it's about a babysitter in the house and he murders and guts the kids upstairs. It's your fault, folks, that I am the way that I am.
Well, I had an uncle when I was a kid, and he used to love horrors, and he made me watch he didn't make me watch them. He was like, I'm watching this film, do you want to watch it? And I'd be like, yeah, all right. So either watch the bingo with my nan in the back room, or go in the front room with my uncle.
Yeah.
He was a cool uncle. And he'd let me watch horror films, and he let me watch The Exorcist. And I can't remember how old I was, really young. But there was like, you know the bits where it sort of flashes in that horrible face? And you see the
horrible guy's face, yeah.
That bit really freaked me out.
Remember I said that Ray used to put the old films on? The Exorcist was one of them.
Yeah.
And so my best friend was in the audience screaming, look at what your little cunt's done, which is one of the lines in it. But she was screaming it in the cinema, and I was like, stop it, Catherine! And she's like, no, it's fine, it's in the movie, I'm allowed.
Yeah. Everyone else in the cinema was like,
what is she? She was terrible. And that was the manager who cut short Dog Soldiers and asked me, what do you want me to do? Put it on. And his name was Noel. No, it wasn't. What had Leon was his name. and we spelt his name backwards, and we said that's probably why you have no fucking joy, because your name backwards. No, you piece of shit. He was horrible, and he's left now, and I'm glad. But yeah, I loved that film, The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Adored it. And the new one, have you seen the new Omen?
The new Omen? No.
Really good.
That has just reminded me.
Shot in the 70s. So good.
There's a relatively new horror out that came out, I think it was last year. I think it's on Netflix or Prime or one of those.
Mm.
Watched it a few weeks ago, and I saw the trailer. I was just scrolling through Prime.
Yeah.
And it popped up, and I was like, oh, look. The image caught me, and I was like, that looks interesting. I watched the trailer. I was like, oh, actually, it looks pretty good. It's called The Boogeyman.
Oh.
And it's actually a remake of an 80s version of the film, but it's...
I think my kids showed me that.
And it's actually really good, because they just show enough of the creature, but you can't tell what it fully looks like, and you can't tell if it's CGI or not, because you only see it in the dark for a few seconds. And it's so good. It's got really good scares in it.
We watched one on Netflix recently. I think it was called Fun House. It's like about, the horror mazes.
Yeah.
Where the kids go in America on Halloween. And this serial killer's following him around, and like he goes through the whole park, and then he gets them in the horror house, and then at the end of it, the serial killer gets away. I'm ruining the end for you. But he goes back to the house and he puts the mask up on the wall. And my daughter is convinced that it's the same mask from Freaky Friday, and that we're being like, that's like a carry-on. It was such a good film, and they didn't do a second one.
Yeah.
And we've been asked a question.
So we've just got Arnie Hammer was into that, and it cost him his career. Shame, he was a good actor. He was into pegging.
Arnie Hammer is into cannibalism.
Really?
Apparently. He's into very sadistic sex. But he was like, it's all been taken out of context. He wanted to eat this girl's toe, apparently.
Why a toe?
Maybe because it's little and there'd be no bones in it. I don't know. But I just think Arnie was a bit of a freak, and it got blown out of context. I mean, loads of boys say weird fucking shit they want to do with you, but it doesn't mean that they should lose their career unless they fuck kids. If you fuck kids or animals, like, really, you should just kill yourself.
Yeah.
But Arnie Hammer, no. But he's hot. I thought he was hot. He could suck my toe. It's not eating it though. I'll fall over. These things throw me off balance anyway.
You need all your toes for the kids.
Yeah, I need them all. Kind of essential. But yeah, feet are a massive thing with guys, I find. This is another thing, you're all fucking weird with feet as well.
See, I feel like we could talk about stuff like that for hours as well.
For the After Dark
I think we definitely need to reserve.
We're going to do an After Dark show.
For After Dark.
Okay. How much longer do we have?
As long as you want. I mean, we've been going for 2 hours.
Well, we should probably wrap this up now so we can save some stuff for After Dark. And plus, I'm really fucking hungry. I didn't even have my breakfast.
I am actually as well. You can probably hear me making noises, yeah.
Right, so guys, it's been fun. Tell them what you want to do in the future, and I'll come back and we'll do another one.
Yeah, if you if you want to mention your socials or anything,
so
anyone
Sammy with an I
watched?
_ Astle ASTELL. Look me up on Facebook, Instagram, and then you've got my spicy link as well if you want to see that. And then also White Tiger are on Facebook. The incredible band that is White Tiger. Please give them a follow. And they're releasing their second album very soon. You should have a listen. And that's it.
And that's for me.
Whiskey.
Battling Dude on Instagram, Battling Dude on YouTube, and I don't have Facebook because I got banned from for apparently telling the truth. Yeah. For telling people the truth.
Yeah, they don't
Who'd
like
have
that.
thought, yeah. But yeah, hope everyone who's watched liked our conversation. It was mostly movies, but it was
a bit of sex.
Yeah.
A bit of fighting, a bit of trans rights.
Yeah.
A bit of boobies.
Yeah, I mean that's like
it's a win.
That's what people want.
It's a
right?
win.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so let me know.
Yeah. So we've made it to the 2 hour and 30-minute point.
We did good.
So that's pretty impressive.
That's pretty good. That's bad.
I think that might be a new record for the whiskey hour.
There you go. We'll do more. We'll get more drunk next time.
Yeah, I think we need to do like a 3 hours so I can get half a bottle of whiskey in me.
Yeah.
And then the conversation will get really weird.
Really weird. Really weird. We'll get Danny, my boss, involved as well. She's really good.
I mean, we could probably get 3 chairs around here, right?
We'll get Danny in.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Right, well, bye, guys.
Yeah.
It's been fun. Thanks.
It's been very interesting and enlightening.
Come back and see us sometime.
Yeah.
Oh, come and get a piercing at Forteys Tattoo Parlour.
Yeah, like
Egg Hill Lane. We're the best.
There you go. If you want to come here and see this.
Amazing. And we've got merch.
Or this.
You can wear a t-shirt that my boobies have been in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just don't sniff it.
Or do.
Yeah, that will cost extra. Right. Bye, guys.
Bye. Cole, are you happy?